lot of people that want to buzz me for a lot of the damage I've done.
Yeah?
I just don't want to get in trouble for it again.
You've gotten in trouble in the past. What's happened?
I got in jail a couple times.
But you still do it?
Hell yeah.
You're now listening to the AITV podcast.
Hi, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of All in the Bag podcast. I'm your host, Myan. The show where I sit down with artists from the Bay Area and we talk shop. Before we get into the show, I want to have a little disclaimer. All of these stories, opinions, and events that we talk about are false and fabricated, and we do it just for entertainment purposes. I'd like to bring onto the show my guest, Phorbe.
Yo, what's up? Thanks for having me,
man. Yeah, no, thanks for coming onto the show. I just added that little disclaimer because I never said it before on previous podcasts, but I actually got that idea. Have you? I don't know if you watch YouTube a lot, but that's like all I do.
I used to, for sure.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of GIF Gus, the train hopper?
Yes. Okay. A friend of mine recently just told me about him, and I watched a few videos.
I'm obsessed. Yeah. It's like it's for me. It's like my brown noise at night.
Right.
Just
good
listening to
background
trains.
videos.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah, dude. He puts this like weird ambient sound, and he's got like great cinematography, like an eye for it. But at the end of every video, he always says, all of these shots are fabricated in a 3D studio, and I'm not, liable for any illegal activities.
Dope. I don't know
and
if I've made it to the end of the videos yet.
Well, they're like an hour long, right? They're like an hour 30. He's like train hopping all over fucking like Serbia or Montenegro or wherever the fuck he is in Europe. But yeah, I was just like, I should have a warning on my podcast.
Yeah.
So yeah, here we are. It's been a couple months, but I'm glad to be back here and chopping it up. Life's been a bitch, but
as it goes.
Yeah. So starting of the show, I always like to the beginning of time. When young Phorbe was coming into the scene. What was the environment that, created now Phorbe and got you into graffiti?
Good question. I don't know how we got here, really.
Hell yeah.
I definitely was super toy for the longest. So
everyone is.
Probably took a lot of that for me to be like, okay, I need to change my
No, I'm still
outlook.
toy, bro. It's been
We
like
all
15
are, for
years
sure.
later.
Yeah. Let's see. I started writing in like middle school.
Okay.
And I grew up in Berkeley. The scene in Berkeley was pretty sick. There were definitely a few standout crews and like people, to pull a lot of inspiration from. Mm-hmm. Not that I did pull any inspiration from them, because I was still just like trying to create my own look or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it was very, very basic,
Yeah. Started off with the straights or the bubble letters and the straights. And
yeah, I think probably the first like graffiti book I had was like the Montana Writers book, and it was like basically only pieces of like Can 2 and Adams and whoever else, people that it was just like insane burners, and I was like, okay, that's what I'll do. And then I was like tagging with Sharpies on trash cans.
Yeah, hell yeah. Sick.
But
what year was that? Do you think that you started writing?
That was I started like scribbling on stuff with a friend probably 2006.
Okay.
And then definitely didn't take it serious for a few years. I think in 8th grade we started to be like, okay, we're going to go out at night to bomb.
Ooh.
Before that it was
Getting
more like
here.
We were sneaking out at night to do whatever else, and we happened to have some pens on us, and we'd go to like
share a 40 with your homie.
Yeah, exactly. Or whatever, like
or fireball. That's like
we both dropped fucking, 5 on a quarter-sized dime bag or whatever, and
yeah, hell yeah.
Tried to roll a joint out of, whatever paper we had.
Mm-hmm. You ever done the Coke can pipe?
Oh yeah, you know what we would do, because we had a garden at this school that we would hang out at, the middle school that we went to, and then where we would hang out after hours also, because it was just a cool campus and everything. So now that I think about it, basically where I spent the majority of my middle school time. But there was a garden there. There was a cage with chickens, and there was like apple trees, so we would make
smoking out the apples.
and there was a bench right in front of the chickens, so we would smoke out of the apples.
Yes,
with the chickens,
blow
blow
it
in the
into the
smoke,
chickens.
and then like throw the apple pipe as hard as we could at the chicken cage, and then it would stick in the fence, and they'd come up from the other side and just eat the whole apple.
And
it
probably
was
get
hilarious.
even more stoned.
Oh, who knows? Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know.
That's so fire. All right, sick.
Yep.
So you're catching Sharpie tags in 06, and then you start sneaking out at night to go bombing. What was
Right.
that looking like?
I was hanging out with this one friend who, his mom just passed out by like 9 or 10, and we had free range of the house and
I
the
can relate.
neighborhood and whatever. So there wasn't
Yeah.
really like sneaking out. It was like, okay, she's asleep. We
We're-
can
we're-
do
yeah.
whatever we want now.
Yeah.
But after I got comfortable with that, I definitely started sneaking out of my house, which was a whole other scenario. I was like as quiet as I could be, and
Yeah.
cracking a window and climbing
Yeah.
down a tree,
Oh shit.
stuff like that. Different ways to get out and come back in.
Sick.
I thought I was very smooth, and I guess I was. But over the years, I definitely got like really, not careful with it, and I was like,
yeah,
I'm
you
sure
got
my
cocky.
mom's gonna find out. And talked to her about it like a few years ago, and she was like, "What? You used to sneak out?" I was like, "Dude,
I love it.
every other day."
I love it.
She never knew.
Oh, that's sick, man. And so was Forbes the first name you wrote?
No, I threw around a few really bad tags, and then I started writing Boris in like probably 8th grade.
Okay.
Maybe early or like late 7th grade, 8th grade, and wrote Boris for a while up until high school, and then
Really?
started getting a little more serious with it, and I was like, I need to change this name, and then wrote Forbes in high school for a few years,
Okay.
and then I got arrested, and the police scared me with photos of shit from all over Berkeley, and they were like, we know who you are and all this and blah blah blah, and I was
Was
like,
it
all right,
actually
well.
like your stuff or like other people's
They had
shit?
photos of like everyone, and
okay.
our shit was in there,
Oh,
a bunch
alright.
of different like GIA
Yeah.
friends' pictures that they were showing me.
Damn.
And they were like, we know these are, of you and your friends or whatever. And I was
You're
a little
like,
shook,
"Fuck,
so I
they
just
got me."
switched back to Boris
Okay, yeah.
up until 2020. And then I started writing Phorbe again in 2020.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because I was gonna say, I remember. Let me think about this. I'm so bad with years and dates now, but there's a the TDK tunnel. I'm not gonna. Well, actually, I can block it out. I forget that I can post edit.
Sure,
But
Crash Tunnel, maybe.
No, it's like
Oh, okay.
by the Wendy's.
Boulevard? Street?
I don't know. It's where shop used to be.
Yeah, okay, that's Boulevard.
Oh, is that
Uh-huh.
okay?
I
yeah.
don't know the tunnel. I don't
Oh
think.
well, you have a. It might even still be there, man. But like,
Under the tracks. It's
yeah, you can
like
see
a big arch tunnel, and it goes under the train tracks.
It's squared, but you can see Bart going over you. And so this was before I changed to Myan. So I changed to Myan in 2014. Yeah, so I mean 2013, 2014-ish or whatever. But I remember going into the TDK tunnel, obviously seeing only TDK. And then there was a little wall. I mean, it couldn't be more than like 4 feet. And behind a bush. And I saw graffiti and I was like, oh shit. And I moved that away and then, yeah, Boris. I was
Cuddy one.
like, damn, this will fucking snug in here. But
Yeah.
you're gonna get, 5 letters in this.
Love
tiny
sneaking
little-
behind a little bush,
Yeah,
cramped in between
yeah.
the,
And so
the branches.
that always kept my mind. And then slowly I started seeing, obviously your stuff everywhere. And I was like, oh, okay. Because 2013, 2014, that's when I was kind of like starting to really lurk the East Bay more. Because I'm from San Francisco, so I was always on this side. And then once I started hanging out with other people and shit, they're like, bro, you can come hang out. And I was like, all right, cool. And then once I got into tunnels and, obviously the East Bay is just fucking lined with them. I was like, all right, I need to spend like majority of my... And then I lived in Oakland for several years. But yeah, I remember seeing your shit early on and I was like, oh, okay, damn, Steez and Cuddy. So yeah. I definitely want to ask, origins of GIA. That's something that definitely I'm curious about. I've seen you guys up for fucking quite some time.
Yeah, I feel like it's a fun story. It was just like a bunch of friends, little skater friends in middle school. A good friend of mine, before we were even writing, he had been tagging since like 5th grade with just older people that he knew from Oakland, where he grew up in Oakland.
Okay.
And he was writing a few different things, and then he started writing like GIANV, which, you know, super silly. He was like, it's graffiti is art, not vandalism. And then we were like, oh, okay, that's your tag name. You do that. Have fun. And then he started writing Mark and started writing GIA as like a crew just by himself for a while.
Oh, okay.
And then like, you know, probably a few weeks after he like put a few friends in GIA.
Okay.
I was not in it for years.
But you guys were still all homies and shit?
We were all homies, but like in the graffiti thing in middle school, me and my buddy who got me into it and I was sneaking out with, we were kind of beefing with them in like middle school. We were like those kids who were like selling candy and chips out of the backpacks, you know? And so it was like competition.
Yeah.
And we had a few, and my friend had like a few different really bad crew names, and we were like trying to beef with them kind of, but we didn't really know what we were doing, and we were also friends. So it was like weird beef. And then
fire.
And then so it was GIA.
There's beef and graffiti. We gotta be a part of this.
The inter-crew beef.
I love it.
And then I think by like 8th grade or even summer of 8th grade, it was probably like 15 to 20 little skater kids writing GIA.
Fire. Still
not me. And then summer and then high school happened and everyone kind of dissipated. People were in different grades or whatever. So when we were freshmen in high school, a friend of mine who was in GIA in middle school and me, we were like, we need to bring that crew back and start fresh. Start like, you know, because it sounded good. It was cool letters or whatever.
Yeah.
And we just, you know, had a few friends doing it, and that's how it started, you know.
Sick.
Round two.
Okay. Yeah. That's what's up. So it's a resurrection. That's what's up, man.
Yeah, we're in 2nd gen right now.
Sick. Okay, that's fire. What's the original meaning?
Well, we were just saying anything that came up.
Oh, okay.
But like,
you
I guess
don't have like an original standard.
Our flicker was go in armed, and we like made the flicker like
go in armed.
Yeah, which is, you know, bunch of like white boys from Berkeley. We thought it was very cool.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
It's so funny.
And so we probably made that flicker in like, you know, 2010 or something.
Yeah, that's fire. What's some of your favorite like names for GIA? Now that you've had a few years to think about it.
It's kind of a hard thing to like make a cohesive phrase out of.
Yeah.
The letters don't really work that well.
You know what's funny is I always do like the user submitted questions at the end of the podcast, but I was talking to Hellcat and he was like, yo, ask him what GIA stands for, and I was like, oh, grubbin infinite ass.
Yeah.
And he was like, yo, you're hell out of pocket. You're not going to tell him that. I'm like, I for sure will tell him that.
Dude, we were getting all sorts of shit like that in the Flickr days. People were like, oh, who are you, getting it anally? Something like that. That was the big roast.
Yeah. I love making fucked up. The previous one was Gorby, and I was like, so, ass to mouth, what's up with that? And he was just like, yo. No, that's the funniest shit in the world, like same thing with UGS, right? It's like ugly girls swallow, undergarment sniffers,
there's some good ones.
Oh, it's the best shit ever. Yeah. That's what's up, man. So
there isn't really one.
How many active members in GIA now?
That's a good question, because people kind of, life takes hold, and some people are more mature.
Harp is GIA, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I've bumped into Harp a few times, actually. Super cool dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the last time, but I've bumped into him a few times, and every time he's always just been super cool. And I fucking still see some of his like heaven spots, on top of roofs, still running. And I'm just like, hell yeah, dude.
He needs to go paint more.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, no, and that was one of the things we talked about. He was like, "Yeah, man, I haven't really been getting up and shit," and I was like, "Well, fucking do it." Yeah, I think it's actually at the Letterform archive.
Yeah, it
was one of the
most recent things.
Yeah, that was probably one of the things. Yeah, that's funny that we were just talking about that earlier. How you had your little booth and I was buying some pins off of you. And met your dad.
That was a good show. Great show.
Yeah, shout out Kel.
Kel.
What's funny is I actually went to Letterform last week, 2 weeks ago, and they had a closing out, which is in my opinion, really sad because Letterform Archive is like obviously doesn't letterform shit, but they got their funding cut for the graffiti aspect of it, so they put everything back into the archive, and they're just not going to be doing anything.
Right.
So,
well, they were taking the whole gallery space for just a graffiti show for the last year or so, right?
Yeah,
I'm sure
yeah.
there were plenty of employees like, let's switch this up.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I mean, they could still, swap out and do other shit, and then swap back in. But the fact that they're just like, nah, no more, So he had like a filing closing out where they had like a bunch of zines from the 90s and 2000s. I came by to say what's something. He's like, dude, you're always blasting me on your podcast. I'm like, yeah, because you're the fucking man. So embarrass him.
Yes.
Cal, I'm going to embarrass you just
Great
a little
guy.
bit more. But word. Okay, yeah. So GIA, you're in high school and shit. Yeah, fucking, what are you doing from there, man? So, like, you because you said you're doing Boris. So, like,
right.
What was your plan of attack as far as, like, graffiti? You're, like, just taking it day by day, enjoying yourself, and, you know, or, like, what was really, like, gravitating you and pushing you to do graffiti at that time?
Definitely just my friends and the other people I was doing it with. There was not, like, I feel like when we were in high school, Berkeley was kind of a smaller scene than it was when I started, like 5 years previous or whatever. And we were hanging out in Oakland a little bit and knew like a bunch of people writing in Oakland, but I didn't really like take any influence or like get FOMO from the people bombing in Oakland,
Mm-hmm. You gravitated more towards like piecing and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I was just like hanging out in Berkeley. I was like trying to hit Berkeley roof spots or whatever.
Yeah, no. I mean, dude, there's some greats from Berkeley.
Yeah.
What are some
of the best? I mean, shit, I was looking at, a lot of the stuff I was looking at, they're people that are like probably very regional and like eclectic Berkeley writers. I was looking at like BPF, Moment and Attic, some of my favorite Berkeley people. There was another crew, BFM, Great Tags. Mm-hmm. Maine, Noble, people like that. And then like TFN was really active. They were a few years older than me, so I didn't know a bunch of them personally, but they were super active and always like, really fun to see the spots they were painting.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And then there was a bunch of, older people that were amazing. Says was always really up.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in high school, I was focusing on just, like, having fun with my friends doing it. I think I've been an artist my whole life, too, so I was like, oh, I can, I'm kind of, like, using my artistry skills or mind or whatever to do this.
Does that come from anything, like, as far as, like, family or anything like that? Anything that inspired you artistically?
Totally, yeah. My mom was a great artist. Still is a good artist, although she doesn't do it too much anymore. We always had really cool shit around the house that I enjoyed looking at and probably subconsciously took inspo from.
What anything like specific stylistically that you like
my mom did a lot of really cool ceramics, and then she started doing ceramic tiles and painting, very watercolory looking, Japanese inspired plants and shit like that.
Fuck yeah.
On tile. So I have always really been into watercolor.
You get some amazing blends with watercolor.
Oh yeah. The coloring is great.
Whole different
the lack of outline,
Yeah.
That's some of my favorite shit. It's like very different from graffiti.
Oh, 100%. But it's also, like, it's funny because like as a kid, everyone's gotten a watercolor pack, right? With I mean, that's for sure. And so I've always kind of associated watercolor with that, but then as you get older and you start seeing what some people are doing with watercolor, you're like, holy shit, dude. And then you try it and it's like, nah, you gotta
get some of the most realistic looking art with that.
Dude, yeah. That's a skill in itself to learn how to that like blending, manipulate. Yeah, that shit's tight, man. Especially, I also like what, seeing like this is more like Indian ink, but like, seeing what some of the tattoo artists are doing with like that kind of style, with like textured paper. I love seeing that kind of shit, you know? That's what's up, man. So, with your pieces, obviously, you're like looking at a little bit of everything. I get inspired by Can too. Art at home. What really pushed you as far as like letter form when you think about like how you wanted to develop your letters?
Well, again, man, I think I didn't really take it serious until like maybe even 5 or 6 years ago. all of high school, and then even like after high school, college, I was like maybe trying to do cool pieces, but I had no idea what I was doing. Didn't really ever look at shit that I liked and then try to replicate that in my own way, you know? It was more like getting to a spot and just kind of like
you were just freestyling a lot of the stuff.
Yeah, mostly freestyling everything, still do.
Damn. Okay.
But
I mean,
yeah,
are you sketching prior to painting, or you just pull up to a spot and just have at it?
I don't sketch too much.
Really?
Graffiti. I mean, a few years ago I got like Procreate on the iPad, so I do a lot of. I try to sketch a lot of letters with that, but it's such a different flow that it never really correlates to how it goes when you're staring at a wall or a train or whatever.
Yeah.
And then just moving your hands with a pen is never the same as a can. So
yeah,
I definitely tried to paint off of sketches for years. Never came out the way I liked it or as the sketch was at all, and so I gave up on that. Okay. A long time ago.
Okay, word. And then like, obviously, so you're hitting Boris around this time, and you're like kind of just going with it. What, as far as like, bombing and lurking spots, what was some of the stuff that you were doing back then, when you were just like not really taking it serious? You were just like going with the vibe, like a homie's like, hey, I got this spot, let's just cruise and kick it? Or were you into lurking, like early on?
Right. It's funny I said not taking it serious, because we definitely did take the lurking aspect serious.
Oh, okay.
We weren't like pushing each other to do amazing pieces or nothing, but every free moment hanging out with like friends in GIA or whatever, it was like, okay, what is the next little like creek we've never been at, or like hillside?
So you guys were
we
doing your research
for sure. Google Maps all the time. And I was talking about it with another friend recently. I was like, why are we into these weird little zones?
And they're the best, man.
Because they're the best, but also check this out. We used to have to go to a new spot every time to smoke weed,
That was like your thing? You're like, all right,
well, who didn't do that? You couldn't smoke inside your house or whatever. So you had to go to the view spot.
Yeah.
Or, you go to, and then you're walking to the view spot, and there's like maybe another little trail off to the side, and we're like, where does that go? And so we were like lurking the hills, Berkeley and Oakland. Yeah. For that reason. Okay. And then, and then following creeks, because we realized they had tunnels, and then going all the way down to the tunnels to the bay, and then there's little foundations and shit, so it all just kind of came together like that. And
sick. That's funny as fuck. I didn't even think about the concept of just like not being able to smoke at the house.
Yeah, it's a different thing.
Yeah, no, for sure. But yeah, no, that makes perfect sense, but that's tight that, you were like fucking lurking hella hard and trying to find things and exploring. I mean, those little, like you said, zones, right? I mean, they're just, not to like over romanticize them, but it's just something about being in nature and hanging out and, walking the unbeaten path and the curiosity. I feel like graffiti sometimes is like very kid-like. I mean, I feel young because of graffiti, because I'm like climbing over rocks and climbing down this thing and like getting wet and like, you're like, oh, what's around the bend? And then you're like, holy shit. And then, you have this huge like moment where you're like, I found something, Right. My favorite is always like, that's where that piece is, because you see shit on the line all day, but it's like, who knows where the fuck that is, and then it's like, you come around and you're like, oh, I found that shit. Fuck, it's,
and that's rare now, because you can, a lot of like, I can like recognize the spots that people are posting.
Oh, really?
So it's like, that fool went to that spot, or
that is definitely true for me as well in a lot of ways. But man, I think it's exciting that these fucking kids nowadays they're on steroids. It's kind of like, at least for me, I'm 37. When you did a kickflip over a 5-stair, you're like a god. Now fools are doing like 360 airwalk tray flips over a curb. I'm like, what? All right.
So they gotta level it up. The people painting the streets all the time and finding new spots, every little ledge above every business. Yeah, it's a whole other thing.
But even then, man, some of these kids are lurking, and I'm like, they're finding virgin tunnels in the bay, and I'm like, how's that possible?
Who's finding these?
I mean, I got the inside on a couple. Yeah.
Yeah, no, spots like that are still out there.
Yeah, they are. No, and that's exciting, because I mean, like, I not to like dox this, but like I have like, I think here in the Bay Area, I think I have close to like 150 geo pins on my like maps, you know, and it's like at this point I'm just lazy and I'm just constantly rotating those same ones, you know.
Yeah.
But once in a while I'll get lucky and I'll get a message from like some kid and he's like, yo, I want to paint with you. I got this little spot you might like. And I'm like, got a new one to add to the
I don't
map.
know it already.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm like, send me pictures, and you know, and it's like, oh fuck, man. Like I have this little homie and shit that I kick it with. Fucking, he sent me like I forget the math. It's like it's a tunnel virgin from 1907. And I'm just like, oh, you know, just
got the little date above the arch.
Oh yeah, just mean hard on. I'm like, I want to go paint that, dude. Like silver on a fucking raw brick. It's raw brick tunnel. It's not like a fucking cement slat. Yeah, it is cool. Straight bricks stacked up from 1907. And I'm just like, how did you find that? And then they'll be like, oh, it's right here. And I'm like, I've driven past that.
Of course, yeah.
You know, like 3,000 times. I can't believe I'm just barely.
Well, you know, they cut that one bush down so he could see it. And you never did.
Dude,
yeah,
I know. There's so much, but even, you know, like what you were saying earlier with the bombing stuff, it's like, you know, it used to be just like you're just bombing flat walls all day or bandos or whatever it be, but it's like now you go by some of these abandoned factories and they're like on the pipes, on the sides, on the slats, on the, you know, I mean, the ladders have always been kind of like a whatever, but it's just like, dude, it's crazy. You just go and you see like fucking 30 people on one building front, like face front, you know,
every surface.
And these kids are just, I mean, everyone's kind of always caught heavens and shit, but now it's like, now everyone's introducing the fucking rappelling gear. And that's like, you know, like Rams just recently hit San Francisco.
Oh yeah, he came to the East Bay too.
Yeah, no,
Still
I know.
Got a few spots running.
I've been meaning to go out there, but I'm just lazy. The older I get, I'm getting lazier. I'm just like, fuck, that's so sick. It's great to appreciate it in person, but I'm like, I also want to document that, you know. Right. And I love updating my Flickr, and I just haven't done that in a while. Are you still on Flickr?
No, I look at it occasionally, but we like lost the password to our
I've heard so many people
group
say
account.
That.
Yeah, that was a huge bummer.
Yeah,
we had hella private photos on there that we'll never see again. You know,
you haven't tried
half
any
the photos were like only for our eyes, and you can't. I don't know any way to ask it. We tried to
customer service.
Yeah, we tried
like
to go through those hoops. This was like early high school.
Oh, I mean, so it's been a while. You know, they.
No, I'm sorry. The late high school. We like had the Flickr throughout high school, I think.
Oh, okay.
And then
Yeah.
By the end,
post
we
high
stopped.
school.
Yeah.
They I forget who they sold it to. Yahoo sold it to somebody, and so now another company owns it or whatever. I don't know if maybe there's a different.
Probably just Meta.
Maybe. Who knows? I can look it up, but like, yeah, you should try maybe a new customer service, seeing if maybe there's a way to get into it. You know, it'd be cool to see some of those files.
Mm-hmm. You'd probably have to have access to the email account that you made the Flickr with originally, and that was one of the main reasons. Was like my homie who made that account also lost his email password, so
Jesus,
trying to get
you're fucked.
Yeah, no, yeah.
So with your, you know, everyone loves a good story.
Mm-hmm.
Any notable stories that you can think of that you've had with your friends where it's been either maybe not dicey, but like, you know, I mean, obviously I'd love to hear a chase story. Those are always fun. But even just like something happened while you were out painting, you're like, there's no way this is going down, you know? Like, I mean, shit like that kind of tends to happen when you're out at night, you know? The freaks come out at night.
I feel like I've been pretty lucky, honestly. I don't have a whole lot of like chase stories at night. I mean, one big notable one probably at night, and then I got chased out of a tunnel once in the daytime, but
how do you get chased out of a tunnel?
All right, we'll start with the daytime.
Yeah. I mean, did you get like seen going in, or just like?
No, you know, I lived in Santa Cruz.
Okay.
For a few years after high school, and I had a friend who was painting a lot from like Watsonville.
Okay.
And so we would drive around, and he was just kind of like. He would park anywhere on the side of the road. Like, I don't know if you know those back roads a lot.
Yeah,
there's
man,
no parking.
You can't. No, there's
highway
no way.
all those like around highway offshoots of highway areas.
Yeah. No, it's clear giveaway. It's like, okay.
Right. So he would just pull up above the tunnel, and then, you know, and I was always a little weirded out about it, but when I would paint with him, I'm like, all right, he does this fairly often, so
Yeah, you trust him.
yeah, or or he has luck.
Yeah.
and I'm like riding his coattails down into the tunnel,
Hell yeah.
So I just crossed my fingers, and we painted. We did our whole thing and wrapped up, and we're walking back out
so you
with
guys are done.
oh yeah, we were fully done.
Oh.
And we were walking back around the bend to the car, had like buckets and tote bags and shit. And
boy.
there was just a CHP parked right behind his car, and they hopped out right as they saw us. And he just dipped the opposite way and we were in the middle of nowhere. We were like in the back roads between Watsonville and the 5 somewhere, I forget.
Yeah.
And there's like nothing there, hillsides, open hillsides with trees. And he just like dropped all his shit, ran back through the tunnel, hopped like a cow pasture gate, and just dipped. And I was like, what the fuck? So I followed him.
You? Oh,
yeah, basically.
okay.
I mean, I was like, 1 second behind him, but I was like, okay, I guess we're running.
Yeah.
Middle of the day. And we ended up running. We ended up splitting up, but like running through these huge hilly,
That sucks,
fucking
it's like CHP
ranches.
has his license.
Yeah, and we were up in the hills, hiding behind trees and bushes, calling each other, both looking down onto his car.
Oh, shit.
Could
So you
see
could
the
see-
cop the
yeah.
whole time. They could probably see us, like clothed people running through the hills.
Oh, so there's
was
like
like
no cover. It's
no
like,
cover.
Oh my god.
We were like running from tree to tree. Probably looked so dumb. And then like,
Fire.
it was one of those classic scenarios. It started getting dark. We were still up there.
Yeah.
Our phone batteries started dying.
Oh.
And then we were like calling. I remember he called my girlfriend at the time, and like, because my phone was about to die, he called her and was like, hey, like, I think his phone's dead. Like, if you hear from him, I'm going to be back at the car and blah, blah, blah. And then I don't remember how I got into, I think I ran around this whole ranchy area, got to a store, called my girlfriend because it was like the only number I knew. And then she was like, oh yeah, he just called, back to the car, he's there. And it was like one of those whole things.
Damn.
Nothing really happened.
Y'all got away.
Yeah, we got away. We ended up running around probably for like 4 hours.
Did you lose the paint? Did they grab the paint or?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
We definitely didn't have it on us when we like.
Yeah.
There's
you're
no
like,
way I
fuck
was
it,
going to
we'll
run
figure it
around
out.
with a
Yeah.
huge backpack.
No,
for
for
hours,
sure.
but
No, I just meant like, okay,
Yeah.
now that the coast is clear, you're back at the car. You're like, let's go down
I'm
there and
sure
grab
we
the
went
paint.
back down and
Yeah.
checked, and maybe it was there, maybe it wasn't. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's fire. And then nothing came from
No,
it.
he
None
didn't
at
even
all.
get a ticket on the car.
Really?
I was so surprised about that. I was like, you're parked in like a fire, like those gates. That's not really a fire lane, but it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
to someone's ranch property.
Yeah.
Just right on the side of the road. It was like in front of those.
Cuddy.
Yeah. And then,
man. It would have been smarter to like go hit the spot and like emergency lights with the hood up.
yeah. Or he would leave a note on the dash that
Be
said,
back soon.
yeah, be back soon. Exactly.
Cars
Yeah.
making funny noises.
Almost out of gas. I got picked up. Yeah.
So fire.
Not fooling anyone really.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you would think that, but then it's like day to day graffiti is not like,
People don't expect it.
No,
For sure, yeah.
I mean, and that's sometimes that's like it's easier to get away with shit because that's not on everyone's mind. That's literally what it is it's 100% on our minds.
Right.
That's what we're oh, this dude's looking at me. They're it's like we know we're
No,
trying to fucking
the psychology behind that is great to
Oh,
play
yeah.
with. I feel like I take advantage of that all the time, hiding in plain sight.
100%, dude. You can walk in and just do a bunch of shit. I mean, and as long as you fucking act like you're supposed to be there, I forget what it's called. There's a specific name for this, what I'm trying to say, but as long as you walk in confidently, no one's gonna question you.
Right.
Just the other day, I was fucking driving, and my wife goes, "Watch out!" And I just, and I'm just like, "What the fuck?" And I hear grinding. There's clearly something stuck under my car, so I pull over. It's fucking PG&E helmet. And I was like, oh, this is so fire. And I like reattached it and it works perfectly fine.
Kept
like
it.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, fuck yeah. I got a PG&E helmet. I'm like, cool. And I I'm gonna go order a high vis vest from fucking Amazon. And
Halfway there.
Dude, I'm walking in fucking, I'm walking in solid now to most spots. Hey, what are you doing? I heard about a line down here,
Just checking shit.
Yeah, exactly. I think I might have said this in a podcast, but I'll rehash this story. But one time I was climbing through a fence. I'm just taking pictures. I'm not even painting. I'm just lurking trackside, and the homeowner fucking runs up on me. What are you doing? And I'm like, I'm just documenting the graffiti back here. I build cases against these people, and then I submit it to the police. And then once they get caught, then they give them a case because we have an entire file system. He goes, oh.
He was stoked on you. I'm sure.
Yeah, great job. Thanks, man. You're doing the Lord's work. You have at it. And I just was like, oh, you fucking idiot. Just, took all my pictures and then I got out of there,
Yeah.
But that shit's so easy. So yeah, I would assume the cop's not like, oh, car pulled over, they're painting in a tunnel.
No, I'm sure they were only there for a minute. And then
And
they
you guys
saw
just
us
happenly
walking.
walk
Yeah,
out.
it was
Yeah.
terrible timing.
Yeah, yeah.
Scared the shit out of us,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a brutal run.
So now when you come out of tunnels, do you peek?
Nah.
Fuck yeah.
I don't park in front of them though.
Yeah, no, neither do I. Fuck that. I
like doing the park right in front of them for a second, drop all your shit off,
Oh,
and
that's
then
smart.
and then you go park as far as you can, or
That's-
as close
yeah.
as you can, far away. Walk back.
Yeah.
Look on the side of the road like you're looking for a lost hat that just flew out of the car or something.
I'm gonna steal that from you because ever since I got with my wife, I've actually had to carry double the amount of paint now because I try to be a gentleman. I'm like,
Yeah.
hey baby, let me take your paint. Anyone that's listening to this can't see, but you can right there. There's like a military huge backpack, and I can fit 4 of the 6-pack Montana boxes, which is more than enough paint, and just carry like a fucking bucket or whatever, and there's hella pockets so I can put all my hot dogs, the little tiny rollers that look like hot dogs. So it's like that backpack alone is good for the both of us. But it's like, dude, I'm carrying 40 fucking pounds
It's heavy,
of paint.
yeah. Bad on the back.
Yeah, no, and so it's always me like, no, baby, it's all right, I'll carry it. And she's like, all right, cool. And she's just like, passenger princess on the way down to the tunnel and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm definitely stealing the whole. Let me pull up and drop this off real quick.
Because a cool 5 minutes is not a big deal.
Yeah,
Just
no one
throw a
gives a
bag
fucking
over
shit.
the-
Yeah, and if anything, you have the ability to kind of scope the area. There's not really hella people walking around and shit like that. Go dip and park and then come back. Smart. Smart. Yeah, I mean, similar to what you were saying earlier with the finding a spot to smoke and lurk. I've always been about that homework shit either. I'm like, if I see something cutty, I'll tag it on maps or whatever, and then I'll go one day and just lurk it and walk around, and even if I get caught that day, it's like, oh, I got nothing on me. I had to take a piss, man, just ran down here to take a piss.
Right.
And then you
Yeah.
get searched and shit, there's nothing on you. It's like, ah, fuck it, whatever, not a big deal.
Right. That's one thing, what you were saying about tagging all the spots too. I wish I started doing that.
Oh,
I still don't,
yeah.
but
Oh, yeah.
because I use the Google Maps that doesn't allow you to save pins or whatever. There's the one that does, and one of the apps I can't save pins on it. I don't know which
Really?
one it is, but I've always thought about that. Not just for spots, but what I want to save pins for is fucking fruit trees around the bay, around Oakland.
Oh,
so I can
shit.
drive around and
Some
get all my
berries
little
and stuff like that.
Get my berries up. Get
That's
my
fucking genius.
oranges.
That's genius.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I have all my maps categorized. So I have spots I've been at, spots I've wanted to go because I was driving by and I looked down and I was like, that's for sure a spot. So I have my go-tos. I have my hearts, which is my favorite spots that I keep
The
revisiting.
gems.
Well, yeah, those, and I also know I know someone's gonna go over me. They're
So you gotta check back.
they're highly trafficked, so it's all right, I'm gonna go by, and then if I get gone over, I'll probably come back and paint again.
Gotta
whatever.
maintain your little section.
Yeah, shit like that. And then recently they just added a new thing where you can add a suitcase for places you want to travel to.
Huh.
And so now that's my camping.
So which map app are you using?
I just use Google Maps. Straight Google Maps from the
I
thing.
just use this one that says Maps.
Oh, you're using Apple Maps.
Apple Maps.
Ah, you fucked up, kid.
No, but see, the map is better.
The map is better for lurking because so
Better quality or something.
I don't know if we're doxing and giving dumbass information right now, but what I do is I do my longitude and latitude on Apple Maps.
Oh, and then you look at the other app for,
and then I copy
for details.
the longitude and latitude, and I copy it over to Google Maps, and that's where I pin it and save it.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Because I'm going to forget,
Yeah.
100%. Like, yeah, dude, my brain is fried. I mean, I even just spaced out just a second ago, but I mean, I'm only sleeping like fucking... My new job's got me waking up dumbass early now, and so now I'm just like, oh, it's fucking useless, but... Yeah, so I feel like...
Yeah, see, that's what I wish what I wish my app looked like. He's got pins all over the bay.
Yeah.
Some different colors.
Yeah, so the green ones are for places that I'm like, I know for sure. There's also like what I'll do is when I'm at a spot, sometimes I don't have that much time, you know, like I have an allotted time. Like, okay, I got like 4 hours to paint.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like lurking, painting, buffing, maybe having a sandwich. And
yeah,
it's
the
like,
whole,
you know
whole
what I'm saying?
adventure.
It's a whole fucking day, right? And then it's like, I'll go by and I'm like, I know this river, and I'll look on the map. I'm like, this for sure goes to another spot.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'll lurk it later, and then I'll just pin it. I'm like, I got to go back. But, like, you know, it's like you got to make whatever. Yeah, and you know, this is the thing, too. It's like you zoom out, man, and it's like I got spots in Japan. I got spots in Korea. I got spots in, you know, all over Europe and shit. And it's like these are all places that 100% I will forget about now. But, like, my homies will be like, hey, man, I'm going to go, da-da-da, you know, I'm going to be in Paris. And I'm like, yeah, I got, like, 6 spots in Paris. What do you want, bro? You know, and I'll send it to them and shit. I'm like, go to this paint shop. You know, I have the paint shops that are all fucking saved. Tight. And, yeah, I'm all about pinning because I'll forget. And you know what's fucked is that, like, when I was really, really, like, beginning to lurk and really starting to find spots, I didn't do that initially. So there's, like, tons of crazy spots that, like, I'll see people post. I'm like, God, I wish I'd remember how to get there. You know?
You know what, though? Like, lurking around, especially, like, Berkeley, we were so heavily, like, just driving on every little road in the hills in Berkeley trying to find spots.
Yeah.
It just made me really appreciate maps and, like, learning the geography of your town a lot more. Yeah. So maybe it was one reason I didn't even focus on marking all the pins because I wanted to learn the streets, learn how to get where it was, and I, you know, luckily didn't forget much of that.
That's good.
But yeah, just looking at maps in general made me really appreciate.
I'll show you this
finding
document.
all the little spots too.
This document that I have. Shout out to my man Max in Spokane, Washington, I think he is. But we talk about freight all the time, and he's like, dude, you know, we always talk about graffiti in general. Shout out Max, I love that kid. But he sent me this document. It's from, I forget. It's really old. But it's creek and watershed maps from Oakland and Berkeley. And it's like,
I think a friend of mine has a few of these maps.
Dude, yeah, that's
creek
like a legit
and watershed.
Yeah, it's like a legit city map of every single fucking creek system in the area. And like it has like, you know, the icons.
It shows you tunnels.
Oh yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah. And so because of that, you know, obviously you don't have latitude and longitude on that, but I could be like, oh, that's in this creek system. So then I'll Google that creek system and then I'll hop onto that thing and I'm like, oh, this is close to that. And then I'll start fucking narrowing it down, matching map to map side by side and then pinning, you know, and that's.
Yeah, this is a cool little.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Map for sure. Yeah, that was another reson I got stoked on tunnels and creeks and everything once I realized they're all connected.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
You go to the top and you're like, wait, I'm at whatever this creek is, and then you go to the bottom, it's a whole different spot. And you're like, oh shit, this is the same creek?
Yeah.
Now I got to find everything in between.
Yeah, no, I love that shit, dude. I fucking it's been about a year now, but I was hanging out with Orca and Samoa was like, oh, I found this tiny little cutty ass creek and shit, we should go lurk it. And we show up and it's literally, I mean, it's just in between houses. There's absolutely nothing but maybe 10 feet of cement wall, and then the rest is just a little
bridge that he's like,
it's not even a bridge. It's a retention wall for a house.
Okay.
You know, and it's literally just that, and then there's another little 6-foot retention. It's like an L shape, right? And then just the creek system or whatever, and it's just abandoned houses and trees, and there's nothing you can paint except for this little slab. And I was just like, no one's hit this, you know, other than him. Samoa was like, oh, I have some tags there, and I'm like, okay, well,
it's somewhere in Oakland or Berkeley.
Yeah. And we were like, fuck it, let's paint it. And so we just like, you know, so it was me and Orca and then Samoa around the bend. And it's like, I mean, if you were to lurk that now and you just show up, you're like, damn, like this is cutty. Like, you know, like I never pinned it because I was like, this isn't going to be like a spot where it's like, oh, okay, there's like fucking 20 riders that are like, you know, whatever.
Right.
It's like, if you go over me at that spot, you're a fucking dick. You know, like
It's your spot.
I mean, yeah, we're the only one, you know, like there's literally no room unless, you know, you catch a streaker tag over my shit somewhere.
Yeah. Those are some of the best spots, too.
Oh, yeah, I had so much fun. There's a little reel, Instagram reel on my Instagram. If you lurk it hard enough, you'll find what I'm talking about. But yeah, I love shit like that. Tiny little creek systems that you're just like, there's no way, and everything's abandoned.
Right.
So it's like even better. You're like, oh, okay, cool. I don't have to worry about anyone like, you know, frying up, you know, some eggs and shit, and then looking down and being like, oh, look at these.
See, now I'm
assholes.
trying to rack my brain of where that could be in Oakland.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I won't talk about it on the podcast, but I'll show you like the general vicinity of where it's at, because like there's so many cutty little offshoots, and some of them go to nothing, and they're just completely useless. But
just little drainage.
Yeah,
things.
Exactly. But you know, once in a while, you'll find a little gem in there.
Yeah.
And
they're still out there.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I love that, and it's exciting as fuck, honestly. Yeah, going to those little spots is just And Berkeley, dude, it's fucking tons of cool spots. I'm gonna be honest though, I don't really lurk Berkeley enough.
I don't anymore either.
Yeah.
But when I was younger, I mean, we were able to walk through all these tunnels. Like, they're all crouchers, you know? I wouldn't even want to go back to the majority of the tunnels. But that was the funnest shit. Yeah. You could walk through a tube, you know, you're like crouching down for an hour walking through this tube. And then you get to a little neighborhood that you're like, I didn't have a smartphone either, you know? So it's like, we didn't know where we were going to pop out. And the tunnel's taking turns this way and that. You're like, where the fuck am I going to pop out? And then you like pop out, you're in someone's backyard. You got to hop their fence and you're like, whoa, I'm on this street? Dude. What the hell? Yeah, that shit got me stoked.
Dude, that's funny you say that. Reminds me of, there's this spot in the peninsula. Obviously, I'm not going to say where, but I remember walking by and all of a sudden it just fucking dips down. I look down, there's this beautiful fucking creek. And it's between these two mansions. I mean, like, bay windows shine straight down into the creek. There's no way you can't be spotted unless obviously you're not there, like, at night when everyone's sleeping. But I look down and I'm just like, oh my God, this beautiful fucking virgin tunnel. No tags on the outside. I mean,
right in between the houses,
Right in between. And I'm just like, oh God. And then I get on maps and I start looking at the fucking rivers and shit, and I start like analyzing the creek, and I'm like, oh, it opens up on this side. And I
come in from the back way.
Yeah, and so that's what I was thinking, and so I head over there, and the same creek system splits off into two. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna check both edges, right? One of them's in front of the police station. Like,
so that's where you start.
Dead center in front of the police station. I'm like, okay, that's a wash. And then I go to the other one, and it's a hotel. And I was like, well, I'm gonna try. And so I was actually with Jammer, and me and Jammer were like, fuck it, let's go in. And like, there's this huge, same thing, big bay window for the hotel, right? You can see like, you know, where really nice view in the area. And, and so we're just like walking into this creek with like sneakers on, you know, just not giving a fuck. And the bush was so goddamn thick, we couldn't get past it. I mean, you'd literally have to go in there like Indiana Jones style, like with a machete and just like, you know, but you do that broad daylight, you know, they're like, what the fuck are these guys doing? So,
oh, you go in there with the fluoro vest.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Some big loppers.
Now I got the pack belt, or the PG&E, you know, I got the PG&E helmet and shit.
You just got to do 2 trips. Your clearing trip, that's your job.
My reconnaissance
and then
trip,
you come back for the hobby.
Yeah, I should. I've known about that tunnel forever, and I'm just like,
oh, you still haven't gone?
No, I still have not gone.
I bet it's still there.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. No, because I actually I spoke to a kid about it, and he was like, yo, I see you up over in this area. You ever peep this? And I know exactly what you're talking about. And he's like, yeah, I can't get in there past this bush. I'm like, the day that you get in, you let me know, because I'm coming there right behind you.
This bush is holding everyone out,
dude. It's no joke. It is like extremely overgrown.
Is it blackberry?
I don't know. I'm not that nature boy, man.
No thorns.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's thorny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that'll deter.
No, it fucked me up trying to get in there because I was like, you know, I had my long sleeves, but even then it's still scratching through, and I'm just like, oh fuck, and I'm like, dude, I gotta come here with like a machete or some big ass fucking
I got
hedge
the
clippers.
I got the trick for the blackberry bushes. You just need 2 2x4s, and often you'll find them on the track or wherever you need to clear a big blackberry bush.
Okay.
Just throw one of them down, start walking on it, and then you pick up the other one once you get to the end of the first one and throw that one down in front of you, and you just make a trail.
Oh shit.
And you just walk on through. You just got to walk on top of the little pieces of wood.
Yeah.
Smash it down, you know, do some jumping.
Damn, right here, the blackberry game. Sick.
Clear the bush quick. But, you know, you need pants.
Yeah,
you need
yeah.
long socks or some shit.
Dude, I'm over here thinking like, man, I'm about to order like, you know, some motorcycle leathers. Straight up have
Get the
armor and shit.
hardcore pants.
Oh my god. Yeah, some assless chaps, you know, and some leather daddy vests. I'll be able to walk through anything. Fuck. Yeah, dude. That's sometimes it's like one of the biggest things, you know. There's been, you know, I've said this in a previous podcast before. One time though, we ran from the cops and I fucking fell, dude. And these thorns cut up my hands, and it's just like nowadays when I see shit like that, I don't even bother.
Right. Yeah.
I'm getting so bad. I'm getting so lazy now that I'm just like, you know, I'm not as bad as some people. Some people are like, oh, if the wall doesn't come to me, and I don't have a table holding my paint, I'm like, fuck out of here.
No, I've been having to convince myself to go out and paint sometimes recently, and it's only a little depressing.
Yeah.
But I still get motivation a lot of the time. I don't know.
Yeah, the itch is there, but sometimes the energy isn't.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Like, oh God, I have. You know, it's like I mean, obviously you can see I got like fucking 20 cases of paint right there.
Ready to go,
dude. I'm ready. I'm dying.
Got
to
your
paint.
schemes picked out or what?
Yeah, a little bit here and there, you know. I fucking that's one thing I do use Procreate for is that if there's a scheme that I like, what I'll do is, one, it's nice that it has the color wheel, you know, so you can see like opposing colors and whatnot. But you know, if you go into the top left corner, that's like hue, saturation, and brightness or whatever. I forget if it's specifically with that. Oh yeah, it is, because if you click on hue, if you put a color, you know, I'll fill it in, do a full blend and background, whatever.
Right.
But if you hit on hue and you slide it, it changes, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll get tons of different things
Shit
that
you would never have thought of.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I love doing that.
Yeah, I've gotten some great color schemes that I'm like, fuck, I would have never thought that contrasts against each other so well, you know. And then I'll look in the paint, I'm like, oh, I got these colors, you know, like fuck, yeah. And it's like, that's the deal to do, man. I fucking tell everyone, man. Black Friday, Montana. I mean, each can of those was fucking $3.
Wow,
you know,
sick.
me and my wife split it $500. You know, $250 each, and we got 26 fucking cases of Montana. It's like, what more can you ask for? You know,
I'll
we know
think
we're
about that next Thanksgiving.
Yeah, right. You know, you know you're gonna go through it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, fuck, dude. It's like if I don't, you know, it's like I recently got wrapped for racking, and very recent actually. Yeah. And so now it's like with, you know, now that shit's getting real and careers and whatnot, it's like, oh man, is it really worth racking? So I don't rack as much anymore, and so it's been like fucking kind of a stressor because I'm spending way more fucking money. But
yeah, it's definitely not easy to rack around here.
No.
And then you have to make a day of it. Go on a little road trip.
Oh yeah, dude. Like, you know,
got your anxiety pumping all day.
Dude, some of my youngins, they be hitting me up like, yeah, we're about to go head out to fucking, you know, like 3-4 hours east. You need anything?
They're coming back with shopping carts, I'm sure.
Dude, yeah.
And you're like, fuck, why didn't I go?
Yeah, then, you know, they got like fucking 15 fucking turbo cans. I'm like, I got a Myan adapter for you. Fucking nah, man. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
Right.
You know, and I mean, this here in the Bay Area and shit for like freight, that was a thing too. You know, it's like I mean, the 23rd yard doesn't even get fucking carts anymore. But,
right.
But even now, it's like fucking Desert Yard is low key hit or miss. I've been hearing a few people getting popped. You know, I mean, well, then again, they're painting during the daytime, but you know,
that's a whole other scene. That place is a
shit show.
It's a shit show.
Yeah,
all around.
Yeah,
in some good ways, but you know, mostly
100%.
Bad ways. But
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite is when I go there and I only see like 2 people.
Yeah,
then I'm
rare.
Like, all right, cool. Yeah.
You go there, yeah, right when it gets dark. That's when you'll see like 2 people.
Yeah.
Or something, yeah.
But
I like
it's-
taking the little bridge over and just looking down and seeing like a line of 5-10 people. You're like, oh shit, I guess no room for me today there.
Yeah. It's fucking nuts, dude. There's been a couple times, Odom lives nearby, so like I'll go and paint with Odom, and I'm like, bro, there's 20 people here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go do something else.
Yeah,
you know,
but there's nothing else either. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. But I mean, even then, it's like, fuck, man. Sometimes it's okay to just walk away and say, fuck it, I'm not gonna paint
Yeah,
tonight. You know,
for
It's
sure.
Like,
And that should be more common at the yard. You know,
yeah,
there isn't a panel for you.
yeah.
Don't just go over what you think you should. You
Yeah.
want to do. It's like, just walk away.
When I was younger, I was a little bit more down for sure, and so I would drive, 4 or 5 hours
Mm-hmm.
to go paint freight.
Yeah, to rack and paint freight
Yeah,
on the same little trip
Yeah,
for sure.
dude, for sure.
Yeah.
Actually, I was talking to. I went to this motorcycle event the other day, and this dude didn't have a headlight, and so we were like, "Oh, dude, you should just go to Walgreens and get one of those like little touch LEDs, and just like
Right, the little click. thing.
yeah, and just fucking like double stick tape it to the front." And he was just like, "That's hella ghetto." I'm like, "Whatever, fool. You're not gonna get pulled over at night."
Right.
And that made me think of the time where me and Odom went to go paint freight down south, and my headlights were like flickering. I ended up being able to get one. It was like a loose wire. That one worked, but the one on the right completely burned out.
On the road.
Yeah. And so as we're driving, we're like, fuck, we got hella paint, we're in the hoopty, like it just looks bad. We're smoking tons of weed, and it's just like, all right. So we pull into, Casa de Fruta
Maybe.
On 152. It's like when you catch, you're from the East Bay. So when you go down south, you're hitting 5, right?
Yeah, most of the time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, obviously I'm on this side. So we always do 101 to 152, and then we catch the 5.
Okay.
So when you're going through 152 over by like Hollister, there's Casa de Fruta,
Mhm.
and it's like they got vineyards, they have like sandwich shop, they got wine, they got like dried fruit, and
Right. Yeah, I think I know what
like
you're
30 different meats of jerky, that kind of shit. So I just walked in and bought like an LED flashlight for like $5.
taped it to the front. Yeah.
I'd put it inside the housing.
Of
So I
the
like opened
light.
my hood and put it inside the
Sick.
housing, turned it on, and it was just enough battery to drive down 5 hours on Highway 5. And that motherfucker was brighter than my actual headlight.
Sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Made the other one look bad.
Yeah, it for sure did,
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's there's fun stories, But when you're younger, you're like, whatever. But now I'm just like, oh.
Hey, it works. You could do that again.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I need to get the energy. I need to sleep. It's my biggest problem. Like, even today, I was like, fuck, man, I'm fucking beat up. And my wife's like, yo, you got to do this podcast. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Let's get into it. Yeah.
No rescheduling.
No. And I've been lagging super hard, Like, dude, literally, like, I mean, I get DM'd every day. When's the next episode? What are you doing? There's this guy from Australia, Ozark. Have you ever come across his Instagram?
No, I don't think so.
But yeah, shout out Ozark. He's always constantly messaging me. He's from Australia. I'm like, yeah, that's crazy. You're in Australia and you're like
Listening
down
to all
with the
the
podcast.
pod- yeah.
I'm like, that's fucking tight.
Yeah, that's
like,
sick.
yeah, I got to make it out there, but that's like a fucking 16-hour flight.
Yeah, I got a buddy out there right now.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. I
Sick.
think
From
he's-
GIA?
No.
It's just a homie?
Well, he writes. Someone I met later in life, more recently, and more recent roommate, and then he
Okay.
just left on a big trip, New Zealand, Australia. I think he said he's going to
I'm
Bali
jealous.
in like 3 days or something.
I'm really jealous.
Do the big Southeast Asia loop.
Ugh.
I think he's going to Europe after that,
Living
and
the
then
dream,
back
man.
to New Zealand at the end. So yeah, he's out for
I really want to go
half
to
the
Auckland.
year. Yeah, I think that's where
Auckland
he's
scene
probably
is
at right
fucking
now.
Sick, at least from what I'm paying attention
Mhm.
to. I always look at Auckland's fucking scene and the way they're just painting out there, and their style is so different from everyone else. It's really cool what they're doing. I want to do it, man, but just that trip is long. Do you travel? That's always a question
For
that
sure.
I ask. I was gonna say,
Yeah.
like, where's some of the places that you visited?
I have been to Italy, Spain, Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia,
Oh shit,
Mexico, Nicaragua.
Nicaragua.
That's kind of it. All
Sick.
over the U.S.
You
or all
painted
over
at
the
all these
west side of-
places?
I have painted in most of those places, yeah.
Sick.
for sure.
Yeah.
I didn't do a whole lot of painting in Southeast Asia. I was there with a girlfriend.
Okay.
And I ended up meeting my friend who I had never met before, but we had mutual friends. He got into GIA and then is from and lived in Bangkok. And I met him out there for the first time. This guy, Coz, C-O-Z, paints a lot in Bangkok and is really, really dope. And so I painted mostly in Thailand with him.
Damn.
But I did, little tagging and some spray painting in Cambodia and Vietnam and stuff.
Damn, that's tight. Yeah. That's fucking sick.
Yeah.
Any notable stories from abroad?
Let's see. The most recent trip I did was like I think like 2 months before COVID hit. Or maybe I think it was the February before COVID hit. So like COVID was in March, right? This was February 2019.
March 2020, yeah. Because I did the same thing right before I went to Paris and
Yeah, I remember
Barcelona.
talking to like my mom when I was in Nicaragua about COVID in China.
Oh, okay.
She was like, there's this thing in China, just be careful. And I'm like, it's in China.
I'm in Nicaragua.
Yeah. But yeah. So February 2020, I did a little 5-week trip by myself, and I was in
Nicaragua by yourself?
Yeah, staying at hostels and stuff, and just going to whatever town sounded the best next. So I think I was in Granada.
You're fire for that, dude. Nicaragua
that's the
was
best way to travel.
Scary.
It was a little. I mean, there were places I got a few stories actually. Now that I think about it,
my homie got kicked out of that country.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
For painting?
Yeah.
Well,
they like robbed him and like went back to the spot and was like, "Listen, you got to get the fuck out of here."
Damn. I might have just gotten away with it. Like, I might have just missed that because I was walking around in the middle of the night by myself with like a little plastic bag with a few cans in it.
Okay.
And I had seen this wall in the daytime, kind of by the beach.
Back.
Yeah, I was making my way back there. It was like kind of a long walk from my hostel, but that was like the farthest point I was going to go that night,
Okay.
So that was like the big, like, straight letter I was going to do that night or whatever.
Sure, yeah.
And I was walking up to it. I remember I seen some, like, dude sitting in the middle of the road in, like, a little parklet area just drinking at a bench.
Damn.
And whenever, in, like, some situation like that, I speak very, very limited Spanish, but I went up to him and I was like, yo, can I paint this wall?
Yeah.
In my broken language or whatever.
Puedo pintar.
Yeah, el pared allá.
Hell yeah.
And I was, and
hell yeah.
He was like, okay, sure, go for it.
Go ahead, white boy.
Yeah. And then, he didn't care. And
he's
then
getting fucked up in a parking lot.
So I was doing my thing, and and there were cars passing or whatever, but I was kind of under a tree. It was like shady.
Okay.
It was dark. It was the middle of the night. But I see like this motorcycle cop, and I know I know the motorcycle cops, like what they were looking like or whatever. There is a lot of the times it's like two dudes on one motorcycle.
Right.
And the dude in the back's got a big fucking gun strapped to his back, slung over his shoulder. And I seen that from across the street, and they must have looked over and saw me or whatever. They whipped around the block hella quick and rode right up onto the sidewalk right in front of me, shined their lights at me. And I just kind of I just like stood back and I like had my hands up.
Yeah.
And they got off their bike and they started like grilling me. And I was like, I don't really speak Spanish. I'm so sorry. I don't have, I didn't have my shit on me. I didn't have passport or ID or whatever on me. Yeah. And I was just like, it's just paint, solo pintar in the, in the bag or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the dude from across the street came over and
leave
talked
him alone.
And like fucking diffused it instantly. And they were just like, okay, like he's just painting. All right. And then basically let me go. I finished. They left and I like finished my little outline or whatever. And
yeah, hell yeah.
So I was stoked on the dude across the street. And that's why you always say what's up. Exactly.
Yeah. Now, man, being friendly goes a long way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I completely agree with that.
And then, similar situation, not really similar, but just in the same realm of like talking to the people around you. Mm-hmm. If you're trying to paint something in a place you have no idea about, you should, you got to check in with the people who are kicking it right there.
Yeah.
For sure. I was walking in this neighborhood, later found out when I went back to my hostel, told whoever was working there where I've been. They were like, "What the fuck? You were walking around there?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess so."
What the hell are you doing?
Yeah,
I don't even want there.
I'm pretty sure this was in Granada, and I was walking around. There was an amazing wall, just like raw cinder block wall with a super old piece that said Claro with a K. This guy who I later found out from Texas, and I started following, and we were talking a little bit, but it was the sickest piece that I had seen my whole trip.
Shit.
Just like a white straight letter, kind of funky straight letter with
And he
like...
was from Texas.
He's from Texas, but he's like
He was out there.
Nicaraguan.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I found all of that out later or whatever,
Yeah.
but I just wanted to paint this wall because it
Yeah.
was, next to this piece that was the sickest thing I had seen.
Sure.
And so I was
Side
painting...
buster.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, fucking, I need to side bust this. This is the coolest thing.
No, that's cool.
But yeah, so then these like 3 dudes who were just sitting in the house across, sitting on the stoop of the house across the street from there or whatever, they like kind of sauntered over, and they were young, they were chill, and I was like joking with them, and they were like, "Oh, like, you have any extra paint?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got a few colors right here. Like, what do you want?" And they were
Yeah.
like, "Let me just get the black and the red." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then this one dude does his little character, and then he does his little like X3 on the body of the character, and it's like a little clown with a beanie and the,
With a
little,
red can?
oh yeah, with the red fill like bandana and the black outline. Super crude character, but hella sick.
With X3.
Yep. On his thing, and that was like right next to my piece I was doing.
Do you have a picture of this?
Yeah, I'll show you later.
Okay, yeah, that's
and
fucking
then,
great.
So we ended up kicking it.
Yeah.
I ended up like actually walking to the store with them to buy them more paint. And so we were painting. So we started like painting this wall, and
so
then
fire.
he was hella stoked on me and had me fucking paint the name of the neighborhood, La Jungla, on his house, street side, like just a little straight letter, the jungle. And he was like, "Do a little weed leaf," and it's like a little weed leaf.
Fucking dying that you did a fat ass placazo in Nicaragua.
Dude, yeah, it was sick. And what was even cooler was like the day before, when I was walking around that neighborhood, I had seen this guy's house, and I took a photo of it because there was a super fresh, crude little Homer Simpson face on his house that he ended up wanting me to cap with the little straight letter on his house. I was
shit.
bummed off painting over it, but he was like, no, it's my house. He's like, please paint it right here. Got a sick photo of like him and his whole family under this little piece.
God, that's
yeah,
so awesome.
it was dope.
Yeah, that's a great story.
Mm-hmm.
That's an absolutely great story. Fucking, there's nothing like painting with a bunch of gangbangers in fucking Nicaragua.
Yeah. Oh, dude, he was like 15 too, and had like a kid.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was a whole other world.
Yeah, man. Central America gets a little dicey. Like I said, fucking.
Yeah.
I'm from Guatemala. I'm born and raised here in San Francisco, but my family is from Guatemala, and I've been to Guatemala many times. And yeah, man, it's a whole nother world.
Mm-hmm.
And I just recently went to Belize. Well, it's been a year.
Where's
or so.
Belize?
Belize is right next to Guatemala. It's
Okay.
actually above it. So it's like Guatemala, and then, yeah, it's like, it is basically kind of above Guatemala, and then El Salvador is to the left of it, I believe. It's like, yeah, it touches the water for sure, and it's like just under Mexico, so it's like
Right.
smushed in.
For some reason, the name doesn't sound like a Latin country.
No, not at all. It's actually completely UK.
Huh.
It's UK. It's been UK ruled since the 1800s, and then they just became a country, I think, in the 80s.
What?
Yeah, because Belize used to be actually part of Guatemala as a territory for the longest. And then there's like some huge battle or some shit like that, I think in the 60s or whatever. And yeah, I don't know. I forget the history. And I probably, everyone can Google, obviously, the history of Belize. But like, yeah, I believe in the 80s is when it actually became its own country.
They're still making countries.
Yeah, dude. I just going back to Gifgas. Fucking what is Montenegro? I believe is where it came from, like the Yugoslavian Serbian War, and it just became a country in 2006.
Wow.
So when you started painting, that just became a country.
Yep, that's wild.
Yeah, that is fucking wild, honestly. Like, because what I like about Gifgas is that he gives tons of facts of where he's at.
Yeah.
And so when he was like, yeah, the country's just been around since like 2006, I was like, what? 2006? Like,
What was it before?
It was a part of Yugoslavia.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, it was part of like the Soviet Union, you know? It was
Right.
like all one giant union. And then once it collapsed, Yugoslavia and I believe Serbia fought. I forget if it's like the eastern, you know, fucked up, crazy part of Europe. That's
So it's
like,
not too late for us to secede from the rest of the country. Huh?
Dude, I'd love that. Don't get
Yeah.
me started on that shit. Yeah, if California became a country, I'd be pumped.
That would probably go downhill fast, but
You think so?
yeah, I feel like we wouldn't be able to.
1/3 of the entire nation's taxes and income. We would be. I saw the facts or some shit
That
like
is
that.
crazy,
But
yeah.
we would be, I think, like the 15th richest country in the world. Just us, just California.
Wow.
And I don't know if it's the 15th, but I know it's like, you know what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
like we got a lot of money. When we generate the most of the income for the nation, yeah, no, for sure, that'd be fucking killer.
That's why they'd never let us go, though.
No, 100%. That would be a bloodbath for sure.
Crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on politics. Now that I'm older, you know what's funny is like as you get older and shit. When you're a kid, you're like, anarchy. You know, fuck the establishment. And
Like, I don't want to think about that.
Yeah, exactly. And I still don't want to
I
think
don't
about
either,
it, but
yeah.
like now it's like so constantly in your fucking face. It's like you can't like not think about it. And I do my best to like not. But even sometimes I'm just like, what? And then I'll look into it and I'm like, this is fucking stupid. And then there's always like those people at like Safeway, hey, are you registered to vote? I'm like, no. Leave me alone, man. They don't care about us.
You got to just say, yes, I'm registered. Leave me alone.
But then they're like, oh, I want to talk to you. I want you to sign this petition.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
and I'm like, no, I'm not registered, bro.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
But they try to get they want to register you then.
Yeah, and then they want you to sign a petition for whatever fucking cutty little thing that they want to get approved that like is not gonna get fucking even shown
Right.
on the ballot. You know, I'm just
Right.
like they don't care about us, man. Just fucking save your money and leave.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah, I would love to travel again. I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, you're due up, man. Fucking yeah. August we're gonna do Europe again. Doing UK. I think we're doing 2 weeks. Doing like 4 days in UK. I think like maybe one quick 1 day up to Scotland just to check it out.
Yeah.
And then after that, there's the bullet train to Paris. I've already been to Paris, but my wife hasn't, so we'll go there for a few days, and then we'll do Brussels. So like or Belgium, so it's like Brussels and Bruges, I think is how you pronounce it.
Bruges? Sure, I don't know.
Yeah, so there's like those two, and then my cousin lives in Amsterdam, so I'll go visit her and
Sick.
shit, and then after that, just go back to the UK and fly
2
back.
weeks, not very much time though. See that?
It's not.
I always want to go for at least a month, and then it's a whole endeavor.
Yeah. No, every time we travel, we always go for a month, basically.
Yeah.
But my wife really got into this like super sick accelerated program for her career, and so she's back in school full time as a student.
Doesn't have a month to spare.
Well, she does. I can't afford it because we're single income now. She had to quit her job to
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
yeah, she was like, yo, I really want to further my education and you know, and I mean, she's going to make a lot of money when she graduates. So it's like a little bit of an investment. And I just looked at her and I said, listen, if you want to quit your job and go to school, fuck it. You know, I'll support you. And so I'm at this shit job that I absolutely hate, but you know, seeing her complete her dreams makes me happy.
Hopefully
right?
it's short
So,
term.
yeah, it's just 2 years. And then after that I can quit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then she's going to be my sugar mama.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
There
gonna
you go.
be so
Then it's your
exciting.
turn.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, then I get to be baby.
Sick.
Yeah, for sure. No, and so yeah, then we can do like big long ass trips again. But yeah, so it actually killed me, man. We fucking because we usually travel my birthday and her birthday, and we didn't do anything for my birthday this year. So I was like, fuck it, you know, if we go to Europe, let's go hit a bunch of shit, just have fun,
Save
you know?
up for the good one. Yeah,
Yeah.
Europe's tight too.
Yeah, Europe is cool. I mean, you know, I've been there a few times now. It's kind of not to say that it's all the same. It's not, but you know, Europe is Europe.
Yeah,
You know, I get more excitement from Asia.
totally.
Asia's fun. You
That's
know?
yeah. I mean, if
Yeah.
I were to go
Yeah.
somewhere else, that's probably the first place I would choose to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm really obsessed with getting all 7 wonders.
I don't know if I've seen any.
Oh yeah, I seen Machu Picchu, Colosseum in Italy, and Chichen Itza. So I've seen 3.
South America. What is Chichen Itza?
Chichen Itza is the Quetzalcoatl temple in well, it's in Chichen Itza, the city, but it's in Mexico.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I've seen those 3, and so I know you can do the pyramids of Giza and Jordan in the same trip because Jordan's not that far from Giza. So,
What's in Jordan?
The Petra. You ever seen? It's like a crazy ass temple that's been carved into the side of the mountain. And it's just all made out of rock.
I'm sure I've seen a photo of it.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure if I pull it up,
yeah.
I'm gonna pull it up in like 2
let's
seconds,
see.
just because I fucking so you could be like, oh,
Yeah, the 7 Wonders. Yeah, I would love to walk on the Great Wall of China. That's probably the most realistic for me.
dude, yeah,
Gorgeous temple.
yeah, I want to go peep that. In real
Carved
life.
into the rock.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think Petra's only just like a few hours away from Giza, so I'm like, oh, okay, we can knock that out. And then Great Wall of China, and then the last one is Christ the Redeemer in Brazil.
Oh, in Rio.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I have a friend who lives in Rio who's from Rio, and I would love to visit him there.
Yeah.
He's always posting little sunset photos of that,
dude,
of the sun going behind that hill
yeah,
or whatever.
Yeah. Sao Paulo is fucking crazy. It's got a good graffiti scene.
Mm-hmm.
All the
I got a homie there too.
I'm probably fucking this up, but Pixadores or Pixacode or I forget what it's called, but it's like a crazy style of Brazilian graffiti where they do this like
Yeah, the little thin roller down the window, down the buildings.
Yeah, that shit's tight.
So sick.
Dude.
For sure. The original repellers, no gear.
Yeah.
Just hanging off your homie's arm.
Dude. Those fools got bars.
Yeah.
I'm just
and
like, no.
guts.
Yeah. That's some balls right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I like that shit. I also like is it Gmos?
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah.
How can you not? Yeah.
Yeah, Osgmos with VTS. I think they're THR.
Are
Bunch
they
of
all
crews.
over there? They're those crews. Huh?
Yeah, I think they're IMOK as well.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that's crazy, right? Like crazy American crews, but they're from Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Right.
Yeah. So so I want to do that, man. Fucking Great Wall of China would be sick.
Yeah.
I
Wonder how long that would be to walk.
well,
the
it's
whole
13 it's 13,000 miles.
Right.
It's fucking nuts, dude. Like
I just seen some little video where someone was breaking that down. That's
oh yeah,
was
yeah,
saying
yeah.
it's
Because
like-
it's only like 3,000.
it's like going back and forth.
Yeah.
Across
Yeah.
the country 4 times. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fucking tight, man. I want to go peep that shit for sure. But I want to go to an area where it's like not as touristy, because I know
Right.
there's like some more popular ones closer to like major cities. I was like, I'm trying to go away,
Yeah.
and really just fucking soak all that shit in. That shit's tight, man.
What about that video of the? Was that where that was? A little Katsu video of him doing
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah.
Hilarious.
I do remember that. Yeah. That was fake, right? That was like
Oh,
a deep
I'm
fake
sure.
or some shit like that.
I'm
I
sure it
mean,
was.
I
And the
feel-
White House one. Right?
Yeah.
He had like a
Yeah.
drone at the White, something
Dude.
like that.
I love Katsu.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
So
that's
funny.
Yeah, all his videos are hilarious, dude. All that drone shit that he does,
Mhm.
like, and then on top of all the shit that he's doing, he's still just fucking crushing.
Yeah. Oh, I was very fortunate. I felt very honored to see him in the flesh
Yeah.
painting this very realistic fleshy penis on a train in Oakland. It was hilarious.
You saw that in person?
I walked on by, didn't say anything. I was just like, yeah, that's a moment.
So sick. Yeah, it's fucking tight, man. I was just at a billiard spot trying to remember. I think I
In
can't-
Oakland.
No, in the city.
Okay.
I can't remember what it's called, but you walk in and it's got 2 floors of painting pool or playing pool, and it's fucking crushed all the way around. And
I
yeah,
don't
there's
know
just huge MQ Katsu tags all over it. And I'm just
Sick.
like, oh, saucy. For sure did that with like a silver pilot.
Mhm.
Love that shit. Yeah. Good times.
Travel.
Yeah, traveling's fun, man. Any other crazy shit that you've done traveling?
Nothing I would say too crazy. I try not to get like too dangerous or anything when I'm far away. Don't have any form of identification on me or
Yeah.
semi-solo.
Yeah, that's crazy that you
I'm
went to
sure
fucking
there's
Nicaragua
something
by
else, but
yourself.
I can't think about it. So I went there to take like a 2-week like Spanish class and stay in this town that I
That's
had-
literally what you went for, just to like be immersed in the.
Yeah, and then I stayed another 3 weeks just
Oh,
kind of
shit.
traveling around. So I like went to this little beach town where my family had has like some connection to like a nonprofit there where they're
sick.
building, they're building wells and little like mud stoves in front of
like that,
communities.
Yeah.
So I went there to like kind of volunteer, but I was also healing from an injury, so I didn't really do much work there. I was taking like a little kind of like 16-day Spanish class, just catching up on all the Spanish I forgot from high school, and walking around all day doing a bunch of tags in this little beach town. And
sick.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. And then
how's your Spanish now?
Oh, I don't, I like barely ever practice it.
Yeah.
And I really should more, because I work the trades and like would have the opportunity to a lot more than I do, but I don't engage with it that much. Like I just don't think about it.
Oh man, you gotta get some beaner friends.
I mean, I like on the job sites I do, and they're like, maybe they try to, maybe I'm just not like in the mindset to do it. I'm just trying to work,
Yeah, I hear you.
It's like a whole other job.
You just got to make like,
that,
you just got to crack, it's an icebreaker, bro. You just got to crack one joke, and then you'll immediately get accepted, and before you know, you're hanging out at the carne asada.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
Hell yeah.
I actually, one of my motorcycle buddies recently posted his kid doing a grito, because the kid's like obsessed with Coco, the
the
Disney
cartoon.
movies. Yeah. And he, and they're Filipino. So this little, tiny baby is doing a fucking Mexican scream hella loud in the middle of the living room. And he posted it on the story, and I was like, hell yeah. I was like, I'm inviting your kid to the carne asada. And he's like, can I come? And I'm like, fuck no.
You're not there yet.
Yeah. You got to practice that grito, homie.
That's funny.
Yeah. That's fucking hilarious. Yeah, man. Fucking, break that ice before you know it. You're going to have too many friends and shit. And then you're going to be getting drunk after work because you want to give you like 30 fucking modelos.
Right. And after work is like 5:01.
Yeah.
Right after work.
No. After work is like 4:30.
Right.
It's like you still got 30 minutes.
Well, see, they're starting at 8.
Oh,
that's what you got to assume. They're starting at 8. I start at like 10:30.
Oh,
for my shit.
Yeah,
if I'm making my own schedule
later.
No, I'm still off before them.
Oh, really?
I'm just starting at 10:30, ending at like 2:30.
I wish I had.
Just get my cool like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, I wish I had your job.
My job is pretty sweet right now. I get to make my own schedule.
I
every
hate
day.
waking up so early. I can make my own schedule as far as like what I do, whatever. And it really, if I wanted to, I actually could start later. But then it's like, I'd rather just fucking get it over with, and then get off earlier, and just have the rest of the day. I'll take a little mini nap.
Right.
Yeah. Drink a cup of coffee, and then keep going for the rest of the day till I crash about midnight.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of the plan. Yeah, that's the plan for now, at least for the next 2 years, and then after that we can figure it out. Then I can be like, hey Forbes, you want to go paint trains?
You could any time of day.
Yeah,
I'm free.
I bet. Say less.
Yeah.
Forbes Myan collab coming to a train near you. Sick, man. Well, let's see here. Fucking talked about fucking traveling and shit. What God, I'm so blanking. I hate being so underprepared today. I'm bad at this, dude. Taking a couple months break is not the best thing to do. You
gotta get in the flow of it.
Yeah, it's just like, when when I'm doing it consistently and shit, it's like, oh, whatever, But like now that I'm like, it's been a while and shit. See, it's like, it's funny because before it's like I have my standard questions that I have written down, and I pretty much ask them in like different versions of rewording them or whatever.
Right.
And before they're like pre-programmed in my brain, but now that I'm like looking at them, I'm like, oh, why haven't I asked that yet? I always like asking, so when you started in 2006, obviously we're in 2024, 2 years shy, of like you painting for 20 years.
Right. Yeah.
How have you seen the culture change?
Oh, man. Well, can't deny internet has been probably the biggest influence on people starting to do graffiti, what their graffiti looks like, all this and that. I still have, we were like just at the tail end of like the 12-ounce Prophet. Graffiti regenerator pages that you could draw on live, you remember those?
Yeah, for sure.
So we were doing that in middle school, and then that kind of like stopped being a thing when I was in high school.
Yeah.
But we were still on Flickr. I didn't have a smartphone until like probably I was like a senior. or something, or maybe even after. I think I didn't have a smartphone all of high school. So I wasn't really like looking at shit on the computer that often until I was at the house or at some other friend's house, you know, and we were just trying to like catch up on all the local shit that's been posted on Flickr or whatever. And then, you know, Instagram was still kind of cool for graffiti for the first few years.
Before Facebook bought it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, before Facebook. I don't know what that big change was, if there was a big change with that.
That's kind of like, you know, before when it was like chronologically, like based on when you post is when you saw it.
And it's not like that at all anymore.
No, now it's like algorithm based, right? So it's like even if you post something 3 days ago, it might pop up on my feed now.
Never understood any of that.
Same, bro. No. It was just one of those things like, oh, if I posted this at 7:00, everyone that woke up in the morning was gonna see it because they're just like waking up and scrolling, you know. So that was a big difference. And then obviously the introduction of fucking reels.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I liked when Instagram was like picture based. You know, and I've said this in previous podcasts before, and I'll say it again. I love that like the young kids are really embracing Flickr again.
They're getting back into. I know I should make another Flickr.
You should 100%. Like Flickr is such a blessing. I mean, one, you have all that space to put, you know, even for the free accounts, right? You get like, you know, I think you can put 1,000 pictures. It's a lot of pictures to really.
You have to pay for some of it though now.
Yeah, if you want a pro, like I have a pro account, it's like I think it's like $60 a year or whatever, and then so dude, I have also like, you know, 15 years of pictures that I don't have backed up anywhere.
Right. Yeah,
so
I need to start backing some shit up too.
Yeah,
I got a good little flash drive or hard drive or whatever you call it, but still got. I think I'm like 80 days behind my iCloud update now.
It always does that shit.
So we got a whole bunch of shit that's not updated.
Yeah, I'm always constantly as soon as I'm done lurking that day, when I come home, the first thing I do is automatically set it up to upload.
Just a soft little 1,800 items not synced right now.
1,800 items.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, 1,867 items not synced.
Yeah, you need to get on that.
I need to update.
That's a lot of pictures.
Yeah, well, out of 34,000 items in my photo roll here.
Jesus Christ.
It's not that many that aren't synced, you know?
Yeah.
It's only the last few months.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to get these off my phone for sure.
Yeah, you do. That's a lot of pictures. Is it mostly graffiti?
Oh, yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
Sick.
I would say, you know, probably like 60% graffiti.
The
rest is like weird plants and
Are you a plant guy?
I like
mean, you
plants.
seem like a nature boy. You're talking about fucking blackberries and shit.
I like plants. I like, you know, I do a good amount of like mushroom foraging.
I've noticed that's gotten really big.
Has it?
I mean, I have hella homies that are now posting their stories, and they're like, "I'm in the middle of the forest, and look at this." Well,
just like anything, I guess, you know. Yeah. People see it more. Same with graffiti, right? It's like it's just more on the internet, so people are like able to want to do that more, right?
Yeah, I hear you with that. I think it's just mostly like people that I would never expect to do that all of a sudden are just like, I know all of these classes of mushrooms and like what to pick and whatnot.
Shit, mushrooms are super cool.
Mushrooms are actually really cool. Yeah. For someone that doesn't know jack shit about mushrooms, because I'll be honest, once again, I'm not a nature boy. I like to go camping for sure, but I couldn't tell you what berries to eat. You know?
Yeah, me neither.
All right, word. But
I do want to get like a little native edible plant guide, though. I think that would be cool. Like, you're camping, like you said, somewhere up in the hills. Yeah. Somewhere in the countryside of California or whatever, and you're like, oh, I could eat that shrub. Let's fucking add this shrub to the little saute tonight, you know?
Who was I with? I was with someone recently. Well, not recently, a couple months ago, but we were painting, and the dude kept. We were in. Well, I'm not gonna say, but we were up north, and I was with Torch, Odom, Jammer, my wife Tenchi, and we went camping up north, and we were just just had like a little kick it, and the entire time we were kicking it, Torch was just eating all of these fucking berries.
Little huckleberries, maybe, or
I couldn't tell you. I just kept thinking to myself, bro. I'm not fucking pumping your stomach, bro. I'm just gonna sock you in your face and call 911.
Yep.
You know, because it's like, fuck, bro. Like, but he's just like, oh, these are hella good. Like these look, and I'm like, I'm not gonna trust anything you say. You can go ahead and eat all of that. I'm gonna eat my Taco Bell.
Yep.
You know,
That you've been stashing in the cooler for 2 days.
oh, we didn't even have a cooler, bro. It's just preservatives. That motherfucker's good for a while.
Right.
So I what were you saying? Oh, mushrooms, man. Lack of knowledge, but once in a while I'll get cool shit on my feed, and TikTok, I will say, is really cool for like information.
Yeah,
know.
the information part is a little bit past me. Like, I just like being out there in the nature.
Okay.
I don't really like learning about it.
Yeah.
I wish I liked learning more. I wish I liked reading books about the nature.
You're just like gung ho out
I'm
here.
just gonna go in it and then like sit there and look at shit and be like, damn, this is so cool.
Oh, okay.
And just
Word.
enjoy it, for what it is.
Yeah.
And then, you pick up little tidbits, little facts, but I don't like research or study.
No,
this
neither
shit.
do I.
I
It's
wish
just-
I did.
It just showed up on my For You page, and it was
Yeah.
like, fungi are very interesting. And then just the dude started breaking it down, and I'm just like in a daze learning about fungi. And I'm like, whoa, mushrooms are actually really fucking cool.
They're crazy.
Yeah, and then you start learning about it. That the problem is that like my my wife loves saying that I'm like autistic, touch of the tism, neurodivergent, ADHD. I was just like, dude, I'm just fucking stupid. Like I just chalk it up to that. But I my mind is like, once I'm intrigued, I just go down into like the wiki black hole of like, I start clicking on hyperlinks, and before I know it, it's like 3 hours later, and I'm like connecting something hella insane to how I got to that, and she's just like, dude, you're fucking on one.
Yeah, too deep.
Yeah, so that is like my like hyper fixation. I definitely do that shit once I get interested in someone. So yeah, I don't know, but I'm still like, cool, I have all of this like useless knowledge on all of this, and I'm still not out there to like go and experience these mushrooms.
Well, hopefully you can like retain the knowledge too. See,
Nah.
I might do that.
I might
but then
remember
I
like one or
forget
two
about
things.
it. Yeah, exactly.
I remember a couple things, but not like, I'm not sitting there like, oh yeah, well let me break down the species and like all the genomes, and I'm just throwing fucking words out. But
Right. No, I got a few friends are into it too, and like do look at the books that they have,
okay.
and I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
fucking mushroom books, but I don't really read them. But
just
I'll
look
try
at
to
like,
say
oh,
some
this one's
shit.
bad.
Yeah, I'll try to like bring up some fact, and they're like, actually, and I'm like, well, I
What?
tried.
yeah. Actually, and you're like, oh fuck, all right.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, fucking that shit's cool, dude. I like, I should be out more. I mean, I do go camping, but I'm there with a jet boil and ramen,
Yeah, that's a nice way to do it too. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not, I love camping, but I'm not going to like be out with no equipment in the woods for days on end.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm going to
Yeah.
be close to my truck, and I'm
Yeah.
going to have a little Coleman and my cooler full of shit I just racked at
Hell
Safeway.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing better. Fucking, there was something that we were talking about, and then I just forgot. There was a topic that we
The
brought up,
topic,
and then we got
the
off
topic
on it.
was, how did graffiti change?
Oh, there you go.
Mhm.
Yep.
And it changed because there's too much shit to look at now, and kids don't know what they're looking. They don't know what's cool or good.
Ooh, yeah.
The scene is too saturated.
Yep.
The photos don't say this one's good and this one's bad. So
Yeah,
they're just
it's
looking
just
at all
there.
of it, and they're dumb.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not coming to the conclusion that some of it's bad. They're just like trying to copy whatever they see.
No, I completely agree. There's a couple photographers here in the Bay Area that just post everything.
Yeah, and we need those. We
You
need
think so?
those. Yeah.
You think
we
so?
need an unbiased photographer, but then we also need the people who are going to like go make a book or a zine and select the real shit.
Okay.
Like, cuz there's Bay Area Graffiti book,
Yeah.
but that's just a snapshot of the scene.
Yeah.
At the time, there was a whole bunch of toy shit,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
And like we see photos from the 90s in SF golden era
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
And I've
It's
heard
been
other people who are around there
meticulously,
saying,
like-
yeah, it was all picked and choosed for us to see that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there was a whole bunch of doors that looked terrible, And then you get the doors that are covered in like amazing tags. And
Yeah.
those were the ones that were flicked.
Yeah. I was going to say, speaking of like, you know, the golden era of graffiti, you know, is that something that like inspired you? Because I would, at least this is my opinion, just as an outsider, but paying attention to you and some of the GIAs, you know, I feel like you guys are very, there has to be an influence there with like late 90s, early 2000s graffiti, because what you guys are doing is a very modern twist. I definitely see it's you guys. Like, I don't look, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. I like that GIA is very cohesive with as a crew style wise. But, you know, I definitely see like influences, you know, kind of like what they call, you know, slice and shift, right? Big bars going into thin bars, you know, wild style kind of makes me think of like, you know, like Yes 2 or, you know, Sess.
Sess. I take a lot of influence from like, who we got? Emit. You know, EMIT, Chem 5, all those like gas crazy shapes or Jess, you know. I wouldn't say that it was a conscious thing necessarily. I mean, when I was like first starting to write, we definitely were not looking at any one specific thing and trying to do it like that. You know, we watched Infamy until our eyes bled and shit, but we weren't like trying to bite Saber or nothing, you know. Right. It was just, you know, all those like pieces of media or magazines or whatever, that was just like the thing you did was look at them. But there was never like a conscious, like there wasn't ever like a conversation between
you're like, I want my shit to look like this. It just kind of naturally evolved.
It wasn't really like that. Yeah. And it definitely just kind of evolved. And for me, at least, like I was saying, I only really like started like trying to be good or, you know, push myself to like make things that looked really, you know, enjoyable.
Sure.
In the last 5 or 6 years or so. And the mindset was like painting shit that I liked to see, you know. I was looking at a bunch of old American shit or European pieces and just trying to replicate the vibe that I enjoyed from them. Yeah. You know, the playing with the surface you're on or whatever, or breaking outside of, you know, breaking out of the rectangle that everyone paints in. That was a big focus for me for a minute, just like trying to not be in that little rectangle.
Sure. Know? It's funny that you say that rectangle because I know you're talking about it figuratively, but I love that you do like rectangle backgrounds or like just a straight line and then it'll just kind of bend down or like, you know, it almost kind of looks like a early 2000s like Honda S2000 livery.
Yeah,
you know,
love
like
the trim on some of those old cars. You know, I really like the Peugeot bicycle, those 3 lines, and it goes down. Yeah. Or whatever. That's a great look. Yeah. So those aesthetics are really fun to like try to integrate.
No, I think it looks great, man. Yeah. I see that shit and it just like, you know, that I really like paying attention to you guys, and that's why I wanted to reach out and talk to you, because it was like that's the graffiti that I like, you know, like it while it does in a way kind of resemble that era of like the graffiti that I really appreciate and love. You know, I definitely, once again, you guys have your own style in the way that you do things, but it's aesthetically pleasing to the eye, and I'm just like, oh, I like that it's, you know, and I'm guilty of this, but it's not just like a bubble background.
Right. Well, I can't deny the bubble background.
I mean, it's classic, but
did it yesterday. It's like it's every other piece.
Yeah, fire. But no, but I like that you do that in a lot of ways, you know, and I think that's I think it's fucking dope. Thank you. It is modern and new, but it can be held to some of those pieces back in the day as well.
Totally. And I think about it more like there's like a process and an approach to doing a piece or whatever that I'm taking from that era. You know? And it being I've thought about it like this kind of recently, more of like a 90-degree spray painter. Like my can, the spray paint is coming out straight out of the can and hitting the wall at a 90-degree angle, as opposed to fucking turning my can, turning the cap, making little side cuts and wispy flares and shit like that in the piece. I'm a 90-degree painter. I got my, I want like one straight line.
You know
to
what though?
Create my piece.
I really, I mean, I do. I'm so guilty of just like the standard 3 color fade. But lately I've really been digging that. Like, I notice you do this. I know a lot of younger cats do this. They're just doing blue fill, white outline, and then like black background.
Sure.
And it's just like it bangs hard.
Yeah.
Or what's the one that you just did on the freight that I really liked? It was blue fill. Was it a white inline?
Maybe, yeah.
Did
or
you
like
do-
the light yellow.
You did I think it was a yellow outline with 3D, but did you do a white inline on it? I love that.
I think if I do a lighter colored outline, I'm rarely going to do the inline unless it's dark. But this one it's like the dark blue to mid blue fade.
Okay, but you put yellow in the 3D, so kind of
We
that's
got
why
like
I
a
was
creamy
thinking,
yellow outline with like yellow in the 3D.
Okay, that's why I was thinking it was kind of inline-ish because the outline is lighter than the 3D.
And then the black force field. So yeah, it does kind of give that effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Exactly. Black force field. So you say force field.
Oh, we say all of them. I don't know.
Yeah. Border.
Rimmer.
Rimmer. That's I haven't heard that one.
Lasso. The Band-Aid.
Oh, I've heard lasso. I haven't heard I have not Band-Aid. Shout out to Neutron. He says pop.
The pop, yeah.
Yeah. What color for your pop? I'm like, what?
No, I definitely grew up saying pop too. Now that I think about it.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't used that one in a while though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think force field's the most classic.
Yeah.
And sounds the coolest.
I say border just because graphic design background. I'm always like, what are you doing for your border? Because it's like that's when you
Yeah.
in Photoshop when you click on border, it's like
It gives you a little background.
Yeah, exactly. So no, I love that people are bringing the inline back.
Yeah.
It's like,
And I'd hear people saying that, but like, did it really go away? Or, I mean,
kinda,
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna say that I ever did it before, but like, if I ever did an inline, I would always do a white outline, dumbass thick, and then cut back with the black outline.
Yeah.
But I feel like you guys are actually going in with like skinny caps and doing.
Oh yeah, it's 2 separate full outlines throughout the letters. It like feels like twice as much sometimes.
Yeah. No,
Or like a whole ass job to do it.
That's so sick.
And I don't remember if there was like a time, like I don't remember when we started doing inlines. It kind of just
kind of
naturally happened. Yeah.
That's sick. Yeah. Are you you got any like special techniques for those inlines? Are you doing caps and shit like that? Stencil caps? Or?
I am rocking the cream cap really hard right now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But also now that I paint with loop a little bit, the loop stock cap is really good.
Really? Okay.
I'm mostly rocking with like thinner caps for everything.
Cream cap is nice, man.
Yeah, the cream cap is the workhorse right now.
What's his name? Adam over at 14th Street Supply put me onto that. He was like, "Yo, you got to try these. These are the new wave."
Yeah, I mean that was, that's like the Elmer's glue with the fucking adapter for Montana. Right?
For sure.
So,
yeah.
Same feel, same kind of dot, same like soft press.
Yeah.
But yeah, before that definitely was Elmer's glue cap.
It's
and
funny.
we got it from the Elmer's glue. We weren't fucking ordering. It wasn't a Boston.
No, yeah,
right?
yeah,
It was.
Yeah. No, fucking. I forget who I was talking to about this, but stone cleaner.
Sure. Yeah.
Stone cleaner was my shit.
Oh, you were just talking about it in the podcast, right?
Yeah,
I think I heard
yeah.
that,
We're talking about the stone cleaner. That shit goes
for sure. Yeah, when we would go to Osh or whatever, there was literally there were no Elmer's glue caps left because we would always.
It'd be
everyone,
you guys.
Me and whoever else was going to the Berkeley Osh.
Oh yeah,
would take all the fucking caps.
Have you been to the new Osh?
The one that's in the same spot in Berkeley, or what?
Well, no, just in general. Just I think it's crazy that like Osh was what was it? Orchard Supply.
Orchard Supply Hardware, and now it's like outdoor
Yeah.
The
same family.
Yeah.
Sold it to Lowe's,
and then took it back.
Well, they couldn't take Orchard,
right?
Because they legally sold it, so that's why it's outdoor. So it's still Osh, but they just rebranded it with a different O. But it's the same family that was like, "Fuck it, we're starting back up again."
Yep.
Yeah,
like, good for them.
Hell yeah, that's fire. I just wish they'd bring back Osh Silver.
Yeah, I'm sure all their. Do they even have a name brand paint?
No, I
anymore?
don't think so.
Yeah.
No, I think they literally just sell Restos.
Yeah, Osh that was the beginning.
Osh,
That was the beginnings for sure.
Yeah. You're rocking a lot of Osh silver.
Only Osh shit. I think that's
Only
all.
Osh.
Yeah, only Osh.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
we started going to like Vogue's shop, like you were talking about earlier.
Okay, yeah.
Pretty like I remember going there in like middle school. Me and my friend had his older brother drive us down there once.
Oh, you guys are touching
So that was
pro
like the
paint.
first time, and
Yeah.
that, and then like I'd have like someone order Montana online
okay.
for me. That was kind of the only times I got it. But
Yeah. For the most part, it was all Osh.
Osh and Resto, and yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, fuck yeah. Yeah, cream paints are nice. I mean, dude, there was a time where literally I would only do everything New York.
Mm-hmm.
Just chunk
Yeah.
everything. And I still believe that with like hitting freight, you know. I mean, if you're doing like a
Yeah.
holy roller and you're going big as fuck, like I'm just going to do New York with everything.
Totally.
You know, just because I want it to cover.
Or I would just use a Lego in the same respect on a train.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
no, Legos are great, you know. It's crazy that I keep hearing people saying that it's like discontinued, and I'm like, is it really?
It is, yeah.
No,
the new ones are a lighter yellow.
Oh, really?
They're not as good. I
Really?
was just using some newer ones. Yeah, but I
Shit.
think I think like 14th probably still has a stash of the originals.
I literally just found one right now.
Yeah,
on my
an
desk.
old one?
Well, it's brand new. It
Yeah.
hasn't been used yet.
Right.
But now that you're saying that, I might save it. Just
Totally, yeah.
Just put it on
You know
one
what
of
I
the
wish
old
I
cans.
did was, and I know a few, at least one person I know did this, saved all the little red stock caps.
Oh,
You know, just the little red with the white dot.
oh yeah. Off
Have-
of which ones?
Rusto or Osh,
Oh,
you know.
okay.
But
Yeah, those are
those
really
look
great.
dope. Like you got like 1,000 of those in a jar. It just looks cool.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. No, we you can. I mean, obviously, everyone that's listening, you can't see it, but you can see this little thing that holds Sharpies.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, my wife's in the medical field, and so she doesn't steal them purposefully, but she'll throw a Sharpie in her pocket.
Yeah.
And then when she goes home, she's like, "Fuck, I took another one." So we just threw them there.
That's a great. I might take one of those.
Take a few, dude. We have so many. I use them for my sign painting.
Mm-hmm.
But that was originally intended to have tips for
Mm-hmm.
guests, because pretty much we only hang out with writers. So it's anytime, you know, it's like instead
Take a cap.
Exactly. That was literally the point. It was like
Good little party favor.
Yeah, it was like, oh yeah, take a handful, you know. And I'm still trying to do that. Actually, I got to reach out to fucking Lost. He owns spraycapdepot.com.
Sick.
So he's got like, you know, just fucking
All the wholesale accounts.
yeah, and so he's just got fucking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cap. Which you should, if you're listening, you should buy shit off of him. Tell him I sent you.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been bugging him. I'm like, yeah, I gotta buy a bunch off of you, and he's like, come through, and I just haven't. But now that you say that, if they're really light and yellow and shitty, maybe I will just fucking.
They're
keep
like,
that
you
original.
know, I haven't used it enough to really know how different they spray. But you know, just with
It
like
just
with anything
feels-
new, it feels shittier. Yeah, it's not as like robust yellow.
Maybe I should keep this one right here and then like mail it to like some Chinese company in Alibaba or AliExpress and be like, yo, can you reproduce this
Right.
and come out with the new.
There's
new
probably
Lego
some
line.
little like internal thing that you can't see that makes it, you know, just right.
Yeah.
And the new one, I'm sure they did that same thing for the new ones.
Could
But
always try, man. I've done a lot of cool things with Chinese companies.
Yep. Yeah, I've used Alibaba a few times for random shit.
Oh yeah,
Got
that's great.
mugs made on Alibaba. It was tight.
I there was a while where I was trying to do like a car JDM style like clothing brand, and I was doing anime floor mats for, you know, cars. Oh, I was selling a gang of them. It was great.
Crazy.
Yeah, but I mean,
Rubber, like textured.
No, there was
formats.
it was like cloth sublimated,
Oh, okay.
but it was like a rubber bottom, so it didn't slip on the bottom.
Yeah.
But then on the top, it was like a sublimated picture of like, you know, anime with like a bunch of Japanese stuff, and just like, you know, just trying to make it as cool as possible. And I was going to like, I was literally pulling up to just car meets, popping open my trunk, and I had like a little 4x2 fold out table, you know, with just like a little cover, and I just throw them and sell them for like $40 a pop. And people are like, "Ugh, these are sick," you know.
I'm sure sounds like a good little hustle.
It is. It's just, you know, the thing that sucks is obviously you got to put a lot of money up front because you have to buy lots of units, and then it's like, you know, you have to wait a month or two for. Well, now it's even longer because, you know, after COVID, it's like shipping is just like such a bitch. But sometimes
True.
it's worth it. You know, got to come out with the the caps.
Yeah,
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, but the cream caps are fine. Yeah, that inline is nuts, man. Like, that's tight that you have bars for that. Like I said, I used to, when I would try to attempt to do the inline with a New York fat, I would blast a really fat white outline. And then I would just, when I'd rock the black outline, I would just cut it to the right, or above or to the left, obviously, whatever. I would just try to keep the white inline really thin and crispy. And then sometimes it ended up working out because in person it looks like shit, but when you back away from it and you take a picture, you're like, oh, I see the inline.
Far from pretty approach.
That's a great
That's
way.
the best for trains,
Yeah, exactly. Especially when it's on a train, it's like it's rolling. Unless someone's literally physically standing in front of it, but 9 times out of 10 it's rolling down the tracks and shit, and you're like, oh, that looks good rolling by.
I still like to be a perfectionist on the trains. You're standing in front of it in the yard, and then you're seeing all these other trains pointing out all their little drippies. You're like, fuck, I gotta make mine. I gotta make mine all nice. Even though I know it's gonna roll by hella quick. No one's gonna see this one little spot.
But then there's gonna be, that one random person in like fucking Ohio that's gonna be walking the yard and be like, damn, okay, I see it. Phorbe's over here with the fucking crisp.
Or even the cameras people have going by hella quick, they're gonna capture a crispy shot. So it's still gonna get the detail. Yeah.
No, for sure. I mean, and that's kind of like, in a way, kind of like, not, there's no downside obviously to Flickr, but like in a way, I mean, if you post something on Instagram, it's like it's super pixelated and condensed, but then like you go on fucking Flickr and I mean you can fucking zoom in onto these high quality photos and you really see like,
okay, I'm getting a new Flickr account. It's
hell yeah. Add me.
Will do. I gotta get the app for it first too, huh? Or do you just use it on Google?
I mean, my old ass likes to be on a laptop. I mean, I have the app for sure.
Valid.
The app is great. I mean, let me unlock my fucking, where is it? Photos, business, my business folder. So,
I remember actually that a change in Flickr that really started to piss me off and probably was the reason that I stopped using it was like just the layout of when they changed it from like kind of like a grid to maybe just like less pictures, in one screen or whatever.
Oh yeah, like this, like in the home, it's like it'll kind of do this,
and then they would like load different, and I just remember getting frustrated with Flickr and being like, fuck, they're like changing it up. I hate change. I'm gonna stop using it.
Oh, look at that Saber Scribe,
crazy one.
Yeah, the Bay Area Graffiti group, there's always little bangers on there, but I mean, I don't know. I like it. It's cool. I fucks with it, And then look, I mean, fucking constant notifications of people following.
And see, that just looks like Instagram too.
App, but it's all, chronological, no fucking ads, no algorithm. It's fucking great. I love Flickr. But it's like, you look at fucking, boom. You can see how fucking shitty, you can see how shitty my lines are.
Oh, that's a cool one. Was that a truck?
Yeah, fucking Odom the other day hit me and was like, yo, I got a truck. You want to hit it?
Old Dragon Ball Z characters.
Yeah, we did Odom did like Shenron, and then fucking Tenchi did Goku and Bulma. Yeah, because, fucking rest in peace, Akira Toriyama just passed away.
This you did that right after that or something?
Yeah. Because fucking me and Odom started painting, I think, 2014 or whatever. I remember we both just moved to Oakland. He's originally from Oakland, if I'm not mistaken, but then he moved with his grandparents to San Bruno for a little bit, became friends with Steiner, and that's how him and me linked up, because me and Steiner, kind of grew up here in the peninsula. And so then when we both moved to Oakland, we're both broke as fuck. We just both broke up with our girlfriends, and we both don't have weed. And I had a little bit of resin saved up in like a little jar, and we like traded numbers, and I was like, yeah, you want to like smoke some resin? And he was like, yo, it's better than nothing. So we like met up to Mosswood Park. Yeah, so he like met up in Mosswood and got hella high off some resin, and he was sitting there in a Hawaiian trunks shirt.
Crazy. Yeah, that's the best way to make friends.
Yeah, and I was just like, yo, you're wild wearing a fucking Dragon Ball Z Hawaiian shirt, and we've been boys ever since. Yeah.
That's tight.
Yeah. So yeah, we did a little Dragon Ball Z thing, But yeah, that's what's cool about Flickr. It's like you can really zoom in and look at all those tiny.
Yeah.
You can see my shitty stencil cap stars on the Dragon Ball.
They look good.
Oh, thanks, man.
Maybe a little windy that day or something.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, the down fades are like terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also try to do a lot of the 90 degree stuff. I mean, unless I'm doing an actual down fade, you know.
Right.
For the most
even
part,
for fades, I'm just like slowly bringing the cap
away.
Yeah, bring the can farther out.
Okay.
With the same ass small skinny cap, trying to get like a big.
So you rock a cream for the whole thing.
Unfortunately, yeah. I mean, it's definitely a job sometimes. Like, I'll be filling in, like, what the fuck am I doing? But I do feel like it uses less paint. Like, if I were to switch even to, like, a Lego, I'm going to get half the piece done, you know, filled in with, like, one can. I'm going to be like, fuck, if I used a cream cap, I could use one can for the whole piece. Damn near.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you because it's
lower pressure.
Paint. Yeah, it dumps paint for sure.
And you got to use it on the right can. You know, like I think it's best on 94 with the lowest pressure. It's good on black. It's not as good on hardcore.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I hate a lot on Germany, Montana, but
which one's that? Black?
Well, they have black, gold, white. I think is like their three
white
lines.
Is the synthetic one. No one should use white.
Yeah, exactly. But as much as I hate, well, I can't even say that I hate Montana, Germany, but like, you know, it's like the origins of how it started. Montana gold is just butter.
Yeah, I haven't used Montana gold in a while. It's like the most expensive one too.
It is, yeah.
Definitely what I started. That's probably what I only knew of as Montana when I first started
Montana,
using
Germany, not Spain. Yeah.
Yeah, the gold shit.
Gold edition,
and then now I basically only use hardcore or 94.
Yeah.
But I do think black has the best color palette.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So like if it were
get a can of gold sometime soon. I mean, that valve is just so soft. I mean, you can get really nice detail.
And that's gold. The one all the fucking art stores have. For $13 a can. They got gold.
You go to Hobby Lobby or Michael's and shit, and it's like fucking $15 a can. And you're like, yo, you got me fucked up. I mean, if you order online, it'll be like, you know, $7, $8, but like still, it's just, you know, you walk in, there's like $15 for a fucking Rusto. And you're like, yo, you're fucking smoking weed. Like, there's no way I'm gonna pay that, you know. But there is cutty little spots, you know. Like, I'm probably gonna totally dox this, but fuck it, if it helps somebody out. If you pay attention to sales, Hobby Lobby, there's not that many. You can't rack from it because they're locked up. But Hobby Lobby has iron lacks for $6.
Wow, yeah.
You know, so in a pinch, if you need a couple colors, I always go to Hobby Lobby and get some iron lacks.
I haven't seen iron lack in a while either.
Well, I mean, they basically realized, and I'm just, this is my opinion. I'm just speaking out of my ass. But you know. Think about how many years people were just like, oh, iron lack's whack. It's like it fades and this and that. I feel like maybe the market didn't really want to pick it up. So then they were like, okay, how do we, you know, they kind of did what Obey did and sold their line to Kmart. So they're like, okay, we'll sell our paint through Hobby Lobby now.
But they must not be making as much of it anymore either.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, even the can itself feels different. Now they have like actual toppers, you know, like Rusto. And so it's like, it's interesting. But I mean, it's nice. You know, now I have obviously Hello Montana, but when I did a piece last year and it was all iron lack and it was great. Loved it. Thought it was really good. And someone sent me a picture recently. I mean, it's, you know, last year, I think it was November, so it hasn't been a whole year, but colors are holding up.
Yeah.
Seems to be fine.
Sitting in the sun all day.
I'm not sure if it is sitting in the sun. It's at the ruins. You ever painted the ruins?
Totally.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So, I mean, I'm not sure if the sun hits maybe a little bit of it.
Yeah, maybe part of the day.
Yeah. It's in a weird, cutty little spot. It used to be all dirt, and then they excavated it all out.
Right, I know,
you know? Yeah. So it's one of those spots. And hopefully no one goes over it. You know, I definitely wanted a piece in there before they officially close it all off, because now it's going to be a brewery.
Is that what... Is that the move? Yeah. I'm sure they're going to keep a lot of graffiti there too.
No, that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the like, you know, like I would go there and get a piece, man, because like all the graffiti that's in the ruins, I don't know what his fucking name, is basically going to be immortalized in this brewery.
Right.
Yeah, because they're already
a lot of it's probably going to be hidden behind some walls and shit.
Yeah, I mean, sure, like kitchens and shit like that. Whatever they decide to be a kitchen, whatever they decide to be a back quarters for like employees and shit, that's probably all going to get blasted. But anything that's going to be like outside, you know, for people to see. I mean, they're already throwing fucking wine and cheese events there.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been there in a few years, but I should go do another piece there, I guess.
Yeah, you should. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what it is, but when it's like a place that's like so not blown, but like just everyone's painted, I kind of get like turned off by it.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't like the Treasure Island School.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody went to that spot for years. I was just like, I don't care. You know? Then they tore it down, and I was like, I should have looked at it once.
You never went in it?
No.
Yeah.
Couldn't care less.
I went in it probably once, like right near the end.
Oh,
and I was like, damn, this is super sick, but it's so grilled. I'm not going to, there's nothing for me to do here.
Yeah.
Really.
I mean,
cool
I should see. Yeah. See, I should have went just to take pictures.
Yeah.
You know, but it's just like, okay, when you go on Instagram and you see all these fucking IG models half naked at Treasure Island, I'm just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, it just completely turns me off to the spot.
Oh, most definitely, yeah.
You know, I'm just like, I'm over it. So the same thing with the ruins, you know, I was like, I don't care to go to that place. And then one day, Hellcat was like, yo, you should come through and paint. And I was like, all right, fuck it. I've never been there.
It's super sick there.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed myself. And like the little wall that we got had just a bunch of, you know, scribble. So I was like, oh, cool. It's not like we're like going over anyone, you know, and like it was dope seeing all those natural pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Always been a big fan of his. I got to get him on the podcast. That'd be sick. But yeah, so you should hit the ruins.
Yeah, I probably have a piece running there, and I think I really hate it if it is running and the one I'm thinking of, but I should just go over it.
I wonder. Well, I mean, I documented everything, so I wonder. I'll probably have to like go through the.
No, just delete that one.
I know. I literally spent like an entire hour documenting everything, so I probably took a picture of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll go through that folder. If I find it, I'm gonna send it to you. And you'll be like,
yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah, I've like deleted it out of my memory. Probably still in my phone.
Fire.
I think I did it on my birthday too, which makes it worse, you know?
Oh, hell yeah. A present to yourself.
Yeah.
Self-hate.
Yeah.
That's so fucking funny. Let's see here. Oh, I always like asking, outside of graffiti, what are some hobbies you like to do?
Well, I do a lot of walking around the woods for
that's right,
for
mushrooms.
random shit, for mushrooms, for other random rusty fucking pieces of trash that I take home and put in a pile and don't look at for a long time.
Yeah,
you know,
like that piece of wood you gifted me.
Yeah,
That shit's tight.
Nice little wood panel.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. I try to do other art. I don't have as much time or like motivation for it these days or like recently, but I've done.
You've mentioned
like I was
sign
saying,
painting.
So that's another hobby that I would like to become more than just a hobby, but I don't have the best space for it at the moment, and I don't have a whole lot of like motivation to sit down and practice letters. But I've gotten a few sign jobs, and I like doing them, you know, while I'm doing them, and then I'm like, shit, I gotta like walk around and fucking give out a business card a lot more, and then I don't do that, so I don't get any more jobs. But
you know, you get a dot card.
What's that?
It's like a digital
little
tap cards. Yeah, it's game changer. I always have it in my back pocket.
Word.
You know,
and someone else can scan it or something, and then they
here,
just
I'll show you.
Yeah,
I'll show you right now. Pull it out. Let me see your phone.
Photo.
No.
Oh.
Just tap the back of it.
What the fuck?
There you go. Click on that link.
He just tapped my phone.
Yep. Now you got my Instagram for my sign painting,
Sick.
my website, my email, my phone number.
Dot card, yeah. Looks great.
Yeah. Now you can click on all those links. It'll take you to everything. You can see my portfolio.
Yeah. Yeah, so I haven't done any of that either, like made an Instagram for signs or whatever. I just got my little photo album at the moment.
You're like, what's up? Let me paint your window.
Yeah.
Phorbe GIA.
Show them some photos. I'm like, oh, wait, not that one. That's just a...
Nah. This is just something that I saw while I was walking in the woods.
Right. Yeah, I gotta make an album that's like just signs.
Yeah.
Make sure there's no little graffiti-isms in there for people to be like, huh, what's that?
Dude, I mean, you know, if you're motivated to learn sign painting, I highly recommend New Bohemia Signs in San Francisco.
Already did their weekend course a few years ago.
Yeah,
it was
there
amazing.
There you go.
It was on the day of the Folsom Street Fair, which was awesome.
Sick. So you just saw tons of dicks.
Right, which was, it was on Sunday, so that was the second day we were in there. And got the nice view of the flogging station right outside the windows.
That's great. I love that. Yeah, the full street is so
It was hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
And a bunch of people in the sign class that were not ready for that.
Oh, yeah. No, my sign class was a bunch of people from LA that drove up specifically. And I mean, we didn't obviously see a bunch of dicks, but I was like, damn, y'all drove up here to learn, And
here you are on Folsom, fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
that's a great shop. And I
Yeah.
have a few friends that work there currently. And
oh, really?
know people that used to work there and everything. And
yeah,
it's really cool.
Yeah, no, shout out Damon Styler. Styler?
I don't remember his last name, but yeah, Damon, that's who taught my class.
Yeah, Damon. Yeah, he's the man. If anyone's listening and curious, New Bohemia Signs in San Francisco, they offer a weekend course. That's where I went to learn how to become a sign painter. They give you education. They give you a poster so you can trace. A bunch of basic stuff. They give you even a brush.
They give you 2 brushes, yeah.
Yeah, I got a brush and some paint.
You probably get a 0 and an 8, maybe.
Yeah. And then they're just have at it.
Yep.
And I mean, I went on Mac Brushes that weekend and bought a shit ton of fucking brushes, and I've ruined a lot of them.
See, I put them away and rarely use them, and then they're still all oily in some box somewhere.
Yeah. No, I mean, I paint a lot with them, but the biggest problem is my ADHD, man. Sometimes I'll paint and I'll do 3-4 signs at a time, and I'll get super pumped, and then I'll put it down for a second, and I'll get distracted by something. Come back an hour later, and it's already kind of not fully dry, but because obviously oil takes a while, but I can feel the difference, and I'm just
in the
bristles
and shit. Yeah.
Sometimes there'll be a little split, and
it gets all tacky,
drives me nuts, and then I'm just all right, this brush is done. So
you just chalk it after that, huh?
I mean, I can. Well, then another thing too is, here in California, it's recommended that we use odorless spirits, right, to clean your brush. But when you call the Mac brush guys, they're I forget, Milwaukee or some shit, somewhere Midwest. They tell you all the time, and literally the dude that I talked to one time, he's like, what do you clean your brushes with? I'm like, odorless mineral spirits, and they're like, you Californians and your laws and you fucking pussies, you gotta
go get some gasoline.
Yeah, exactly. And then he's like, what are you storing it in? And I'm like, mineral oil. And he's just like, no, fucking 5W20.
Yeah, see, I do use motor oil for my brushes.
I do now,
but I only have, and I'm only using a found quarter bucket of mineral spirits from some estate sale or some shit. I haven't ever bought. I haven't bought new materials for this hobby, So it's all rusty in my mineral spirits and shit. And I'll pour it out. Yeah, it'll be a big chunk of rust. I'm like, this is probably some good shit.
Yeah,
feels like some
I
solid
use,
chemical.
You can probably see the fucking my balcony is basically my workspace. Obviously, you can see tons of paint and resin and all shit. I think I use lacquer thinner, just straight up lacquer thinner. That shit is gnarly. That's why I paint outside.
Yeah,
but yeah.
See, that's the thing. You need a good space.
Yeah, I mean,
you have all your stuff accessible right there. I can't take all my shit out, use it for a day, and then put it back away and have motivation to take it out again the next day. It's
agree.
Not the way.
I completely agree. Yeah, no. I mean, as you can see, the living room coffee table has tons of paint all on top of it because I paint right here on the sofa, and then I clean my brushes out there on the balcony, and then I design in my 3 desks in the living room because I have no space whatsoever. I'm just living on top of everything.
Yeah,
that's life.
That is.
That's cool though. Sign painting, walking in the forest.
Yeah. What else? That's about it. I love traveling. I like going on road trips and camping and doing the little barbecues with the homies and I like fixing and building shit, which I don't do that often, but that's kind of what I do for work. So that scratches that itch. And that's kind of it.
Sick. Okay. I mean, those are pretty decent hobbies. All on hands.
And there's a lot of tangents you can take within those hobbies.
For sure. Yeah. That's what's up. Let's see here. So I didn't ask this earlier because we were talking about traveling, but with traveling, how do you think it's affected your style? Seeing graffiti from the perspective of people that are not American.
I don't know that it's affected it that much at all.
Okay.
you know, just going back to like the accessibility of the internet, I've definitely taken inspiration from people that I see through Instagram or whatever that live in other countries.
Okay.
But when I'm traveling, you know, the only difference really is like the types of walls and the types of infrastructure that you're painting on and shit.
Okay.
So I do try to pay attention to like what my piece is going to look like when you're walking up on the spot from wherever, from the trail, from the road or whatever. You know, I like the idea of like finishing your shit and then double checking it as though you're walking up on it for the first time, and how it plays with the wall you're painting on, or how, you know.
Okay. So when you're painting a spot, you don't look at it just like, okay, here's a wall. I've got this idea in my head of a sketch. You try to do it based on your environment.
A
so
lot
that
of
it
times
fits really
too.
well.
I enjoy doing that probably the
Okay.
most. So if like, yeah, if there's like some obstacle in the wall, I get to shape my piece a little differently around it, you know,
Oh, yeah.
or play with like the colors of the wall versus, you know, what I got in my backpack, and like try
Yeah.
to blend out the background to some pre-existing paint on the wall or something like that.
Fuck yeah.
And yeah, just, you know, when you're in another country or something, you know, a lot of times it's older walls.
Yeah.
You got a bunch of old fucking layers of paint or
Caked
shit's
on
chipping
dust.
off. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
different plants, different way they built shit, different, you know,
Yeah.
things going on. So yeah, all I would say is it affects like, you know, the shape and the flow of whatever piece I'm doing, but probably not the style.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Sick. I do want to get into the questions that people have submitted.
Oh, sick. Yeah. Let me just take a piss real quick.
Do your thing. Quick commercial break. User submitted questions. Let's see here. Let's start from... Got a few, actually. Fuck BART trains.
I don't like Bart either.
Biggest writer inspirations, and how has that writer impacted you, bro?
Biggest writer, I would say being able to paint with my friend Kava, who I grew up looking at,
Yeah.
you know, is probably the biggest like constant and like most relevant inspiration in
I'd
terms
love
of
to
like
get him on the pod.
motivation, and in terms of like just approach
Yeah.
to it all.
King. I don't give
yeah.
a fuck what anyone says. Kava's king.
Yeah, can't even keep up. There's no way.
So much steez, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna have you bug him to be on the podcast.
Yeah, good luck.
I know. I've met Kava a few times, actually. He's been really nice. And I've met Enero and Tiempo a bunch because of the Bazaar Fest.
Yeah.
You know? And Enero was like, yeah. And then hasn't said shit since.
Yeah, he's all over the place, I'm sure.
Yeah. So, if it gets back to Kava and Enero or Tiempo, I'd love to have any of you guys on the podcast. Let's see here. It's going to be a while now. Says, what writers did he like when he first started getting into graph? I mean, we kind of talked about that, but like you said, Cruz. Any specific writers that you were like,
Any specific writers?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're growing up in Berkeley and Nesta isn't your favorite writer, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there was that.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, there was all these like abandoned buildings down in West Berkeley, or kind of by the freeway and the tracks right there that had amazing pieces. I can't even think of the best specifically right now, but
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Nesta is fire. Yeah. I actually got to meet him semi recently. I was riding my motorcycle and I just randomly got off the freeway, and Journey and Nesta were doing a piece in kind of like, I'm trying to remember that general area. It's like 3rd Street, you know?
Sick. Out here in the city.
Yeah, here in the
Sick.
city.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's at the dog patch. Maybe not. I always blur the borders of like the different districts and that.
I don't know anything about the city. So
Oh, okay, word.
You could
Well,
say anything right now.
yeah. Well, anyone that's listening that knows, it's like Thunderdome area-ish. That should be a big marker, but yeah.
That's more Hunter's Point, isn't it?
Yeah, well, Hunters Point's a little bit more south of that.
Okay.
You know, that's why I was
Yeah.
like, oh, he's got a dog patch. But yeah.
What is that? Bay Shore? Is that a thing?
Bayshore would be technically a little bit more south.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it would, if you're going northbound, you'd hit Bayshore first, then Hunters Point, then the dog patch, if I'm not mistaken. I don't really hang out in that area too much because that's like all the industrial area.
That's where all the best shit's at.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, don't get me started. That's you got the cathedral there. Obviously Thunderdome, which is like impossible to get into, and
That's the circular bando with the narc roller and all that.
that's Bayshore. Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
not the Thunderdome.
No, Thunderdome is like completely sealed off. That's like, have you ever seen
Oh, it's the big square building that
Against
was in the
the
movie.
wall?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
I know
exactly. With
yeah.
like all the fucking two, like the old Norm, Plantries, Attic and MQ, I mean, just fucking bangers. Maceo. Yeah. Nesta was really cool. I chopped it up with him for a little bit. I asked him to be on the podcast. Journey, I want you on the podcast. God damn it. He's always constantly evading me.
Yeah.
And then obviously Twigs showed up and he was on the podcast before. Shout out Twigs. Love that dude.
Yep.
Dope Cut says, where do you get that old school funk?
Man, like I said, painting what you want to see.
Yeah.
I guess. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
If you think it looks good, go try to paint that.
I agree. Then that says, do East Bay Styles shit on LA any day of the week? That's
Yes.
Yeah.
Hard, yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Yes.
I just, to each their own.
Yeah.
No shade, but I can't handle that, like, center bevel line with your cap fully fucking parallel to the angle of the wall. You get the little dusty. Miss me with that. That's
Miss me with that. I love it. Those who ride the Puff Bus. Shout out the homie Char. He says, how do you pronounce the name? And we were kind of talking about it.
Phorbe, but you could say whatever you want.
Yeah,
I won't be mad.
All right, word. Let's see here. How many times did Forbes go through before his name now? I think, how many names?
Yeah, really, mainly just one. I wrote Boris for the longest.
Just Boris, yeah. Time-based corrector said that. You didn't have any, so when you first started, you're just Boris the entire time? Or you said Forbes first?
When I first started, I wrote a bunch of, like, really random little whack names. I don't even remember really what they were.
Okay.
I know the first thing I wrote was Fish, and it was like a sick little. You did all the extra bars, and then you did one big line through the middle to make the bar the F.
The bones.
Yep, and then you did the fish bone tail on one end poking out, and then a little half circle with an eyeball on the other end.
You got to bring that back.
Oh yeah, it was a fresh tag for sure.
You got to bring that back for show. 5 Minute Funk says, what is the best smelling spray can?
I mean, I guess 94.
Yeah. I've heard that they actually put vanilla
Really?
in the paint to give it that sweet smell.
Huh. Just to, get more kids attached, addicted to it.
Yeah, exactly. It's where they're going to ban it like fucking,
Yep.
what are those? Mint,
All the little, vapors.
Jewels.
The jewels.
Yeah, mint jewels. Bucket outline. How does this guy always have new and great color schemes after doing so many pieces?
Just stuff your backpack and figure it out at the wall.
Boom. Damn. All right. Yeah, that's what's up. Shout out the homie word una palabra. He says cutbacks? Question mark.
Nah. I mean, if you need to, sure.
One straight shots.
What I always really admired, going into a lot of tunnels in the early teens, 2012 highlights, whatever, seeing a million belief pieces.
Oh, yeah.
And then when you're up next to them and you're like, wait, what? He didn't do any cutbacks?
Yeah.
It really makes you think, makes you stop and be like, oh shit, I could try to do that too.
Yeah.
But then also, secret tip, if you're doing an inline, you don't really need to worry about how sketchy your outline is.
Oh, yeah.
The inline's going to clean it all up.
Yeah, that's true. You're technically cutting back the...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's what's up. Let's see. What is this guy's fucking... It's so long it blocked it off, but it's like Contra Costa County Oil Mall. All right, whatever. His username's cut off. Sorry, dude, but he just said Boris.
Yes.
That's it. Let's see here. Get Smacked says, Phorbe, what's the coolest thing you've found from exploring all these bandos?
Oh, man, that'd be a tough one to say. I like all the old shit, older the better. I've found some really cool old bottles. I'm into bottles.
Yeah?
glass bottles. I found like a
I got a spot for you.
100-plus-year-old, the Coca-Cola
Yeah, well,
zone?
Yeah, there's a spot up north. I'll give you a pin, and Cuddy Ass Tunnel, super sick. But there's an old moonshine shack.
Oh,
With like 7-Up bottles that are like 150 years old, and they're just laying there. It's like Budweisers with the tabs that would pop off, you know, from like the fucking 50s, 60s.
So I would say, probably like 100-year-old bottle might be one of the cooler things I've.
Yeah. So all that shit's literally there right now.
Yeah.
Like I remember fucking when we were painting up there, Torch was like, "What's this?" And like went up there with Jammer. He's like, "Yo, check this shit out." And I was like, "Leave it there."
Yeah, I might have to leave that shit too.
Kill the Visual says, "What's something you strongly dislike about graffiti?"
Just a bunch of toy shit, I guess. People not
that's
hitting
fair.
the books. I mean, you know,
Right.
there's too much to look at, so I don't hold anyone accountable, you know, but like if there's less toy shit to look at, there's not as many people going to be painting that toy looking shit.
Okay. Hell yeah. It's a great take. Love these usernames, dude. Cuck Toaster 01.
Oh, that's a good one.
Drippy tags or clean tags?
I'm not the best tagger, so you know, drippy just makes them a little worse, but that's fine.
Yeah, I think in a good kind of way.
For mine, I mean, everyone else's, they look great with the drippies.
Yeah.
For my tags, I feel like it makes it look a little bit worse.
So you like
unless
to do
they're
more
in the
clean?
right. I like a cleaner tag. Yeah, I mean, if I have a mop in my hand, I'm not squeezing the shit out of it. That's for sure.
Oh, that's funny because
minimal squeeze.
Okay, so yeah, the next question from Movie House is, what is your go-to mop for tags, brand, style, etc.?
Brand, I mean, I guess just the little round crank body, but empty, and make your own shit.
Yeah. So quick little, some kids screaming outside. I've been hearing the birds outside on the trees for sure. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a nice like ambient sound to have in the back.
Yeah,
of
the
this
mics
podcast.
are picking up some good.
Yeah, I hear the
background.
birds for sure, but some kid just screamed out of nowhere. What were we just ADHD? The mops. Yeah, so for the youngins, Amazon empty bingo daubers.
I like bingo dauber style. Yeah, those ones are good because they fit in your pocket real good.
Yeah, those are great, man. Make your own ink.
But those nibs leak a little more than a good crank nib.
Yeah,
but you know
trash.
what? I bought a lot of just the nib replacement, you know, so I could replace out the nibs when they scratch out and just have like one or two of those bodies. But then I would like realize the more you use the body of the thing, the neck stretches out. So I started wrapping the new nibs with a little bit of electrical tape to make the seal a little tighter.
Better,
and I would have to like fucking put an extra loop around the nib with electrical tape every time I changed it out because it would get like wider and wider.
Oh, shit.
I also think it was like the gnarly fucking, you know, the .3 that I was using in my ink. Probably wearing out the plastic and
100%.
shit. You start feeling greasy on the outside of the nib and you're like, fuck, it's not even ink. You know?
It's, it's just sat there and it's all separated.
Right.
For sure. I like mops a lot, but I don't purchase them ever. I just get really lucky and people give me mops.
Yeah. Well, I just find a whole lot of like resto buckets. So I'm like, I can't not make my own. You know, I would be sitting on these buckets for too long if I didn't use it up.
Resto silver bucket with thinner. Hot.
Yeah. A little thinner, a little brake fluid.
Yeah, for sure. But I was gonna say, out of all the mops that I've played with, if I'm not mistaken, it's Bus MSK. I think it's.
Is he Trout or no?
Huh?
Is he Trout Art Supply or no? That's someone else.
Oh, I don't know. I just know he's got Machine Studios, and they have a mop where it's not like a fabric nib. It's like a harder.
Is it the blue vinyl looking one? Or there's like the bluish, light blue, plasticky looking nib.
Yeah, it's something like that, and it holds up on like textured surfaces. It doesn't rip as hard, and I've used that one before, and I really liked it. I thought I was like, oh, this is cool. Let's see here. This guy says, "Don't announce my handle," but who were your mentors? Did you have any mentors?
There was not a lot of hand holding for us, I would say, growing up, which was I really wish there was.
You didn't have an OG?
Definitely not like an OG who was constantly telling us what the fuck to do and what not to do.
Oh, okay.
Didn't have that. Would have been super helpful.
Yeah.
Probably would have started taking
stages.
shit. Yeah, definitely. You know, we met, me and a few friends like met some of the older TFN kids when we were in middle school.
Okay.
But we didn't like meet up with them again and again. It was like met them once.
Bumped into them.
They were hella chill, and we
were
were like, "Damn, that was so cool." And then
word. Yeah, I mean, you know, I think having an OG is definitely a very old thing, and I don't think it gets pushed a lot. And I've brought this up before in previous podcasts. I think that should change.
Totally. I mean, it's not even, you know, don't go looking for it. But if you have the opportunity for someone standing there who's been in it for a while, trying to tell you how it should be, just listen. You don't have anything to lose, but
yeah.
I
to go off of that, I think soak up some game and just listen. I think that's absolutely great, because I notice a lot of young kids are definitely like, and I get it too, you know, because I mean, it's not like we weren't young before. I might be a little bit older than you, but it's one of those things that it's like, you know, when you're young, you kind of feel like you know everything. You're like, shut the fuck up, old timer.
Yeah.
And I think for sure Gen Z is always like, all right, boomer, you know, and I get that with the rebellion, but just take it in and then apply your own shit to it. You know, there's nothing that's going to kill you if you just listen to a little bit of advice. You might take something away that you're like, oh, whatever. But yeah, I definitely agree that, like, you know, and this is like my call to like the older cats, you know, it's like I you know, my nephew's Orca, fucking, he's been bombing lately, crazy with Ken 2 and Samoa, and those 3 kids, I was like, yo, I want you guys to be in Key Crew. I want to hang out with you guys. I want to, you know, I shoot them sketches, you know, they shoot me sketches. I clean them up a little bit, you know, we go back and forth. I love that shit, man. That you know, they keep me active because I'm always super excited, but at the same time, I appreciate that they're like, oh, hey, dude, what do you think of this?
Yeah,
you know, I think it's a really good back and forth, and you know, I see them going way farther than I will ever be able to go.
That's sick.
You know,
yeah.
so I think that's very important. So
yeah, listen and watch. You know,
yeah.
While you were saying that, I was remembering, like, I used to there are a few day spots in Berkeley that aren't really there anymore or not painted as frequently at all.
Okay.
I would just bike to every single day after work.
Oh, shit.
Or not work, fucking school.
Yeah.
And I didn't even have paint on me. And I would just go there to see if there was something new or if there was someone painting. I would just be like, yo, you mind if I just sit here?
Kick it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
definitely
great.
Soaked up a lot of game just from,
you
know, 4th Street wall in Berkeley, right by the tracks. Not there anymore at all, but that spot I was at every other day after school, like just watching people. Saw hella people painting there like that.
Damn.
That and like a Temescal wall in Berkeley, which isn't really, or Oakland, it's not really painted that much anymore, but I would be up there all the time, just trying to watch, you know? Not even really talking to people that much because I was hella shy. Yeah. But just like seeing the shit go down. You learn your process that way. Yeah. You know, you learn how people
get to see it. Yeah.
And then, it's more than that. You're learning like people's fucking mannerisms while they're painting. You know, are they laying all their cans out on the ground? Do they have their nice little setup with their backpack ready to go? You know, just observing. Definitely the biggest one.
Yeah, soaking game, man. It's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's important. And then the last question that I have here for the user submitted questions was Cautionary Tales says, favorite, most inspirational writers from Santa Cruz.
Yeah, we didn't touch on this too much. I lived in Santa Cruz for a while.
Yeah, we didn't.
I only lived there for like 4 years.
That's a decent amount of time, though, bro.
Yeah, and I was painting every day, for sure.
Yeah.
I had a little 50cc scooter.
Oh,
and I was ripping that shit through the hills with my jousting pole on the strap to the side. I had a 12 to 24 foot fucking roller pole that I would strap to the side of my scooter.
What kind of scooter?
It was a 50cc Yamaha Zuma.
So far.
Black and white, and I just had the pole fucking zip tied or bungeed to the side, and it would stick out like 10 feet.
Yo, you're gnarly.
And yeah, who was the best that I saw up there? You know, I really like. I mean, Gorby, undeniably really cool to see.
Yeah.
Gorby pieces in person, the cleanest shit.
Yeah.
Hype, really sick to see up there.
Yeah.
I really liked K-Laps. You know, some of the 2D4 shit.
Yeah.
And then older, there's like shit that I didn't really see when I was living there, but I would like learn about and saw books and online stuff. Old James pieces.
Yeah.
Tropic. Yeah. Who else? I don't know. A lot of FTL shit. Cool to see down there on the tracks and everything. Yeah.
Sick, man. How different, you know, I mean, if you got your chops in Berkeley and then you lived in Santa Cruz, you know, how different is the vibe as far as between the two of them?
Super different. There's only waterway spots in Santa Cruz. I mean, you can like walk the tracks and there's like some legal walls and you can do your little cutty tags on the tracks and shit. But to paint and to lurk, it's creeks, it's tunnels, or it's old, you know, waterway infrastructure, or there's like a few fucking train tunnels you can go find, and they're, you know, usually pretty grilled and
with history.
Yeah, with good shit.
Yeah. Sick ass Santa Cruz history.
But yeah, and I was already really used to like looking for creeks and walking them for hours to go through every tunnel. Yeah, all that. Well, you know, I didn't really get it. I wasn't really into mushroom foraging when I lived in Santa Cruz.
Oh, okay.
Kind of started after I moved back up here in 2017. But yeah, a lot of creek lurking.
Yeah.
A lot of driving around the hills with my scooter, parking above every single tunnel I could. And
that's hilarious.
Scampering down the hill.
Yeah.
Into the
smoking
water.
some weed in a tunnle just to like peep it and then come back the next
ripping
day.
the spliff while I'm driving the little scooter on the side of Highway 9 as cars are flying by me. Like,
I was gonna say, man, 50cc, you can't go more than like 30 miles. If that, right?
30 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, even on some of those hills.
Oh, yeah, no, I would just be in the bike lane. Like, unashamed, you know, just like
full throttle
up a fat hill. Like, yeah, it's full throttle up a hill. It's like 10 miles an hour.
Oh my God. Yeah. No,
and
that's great.
I would
was
have
it a
like
two-stroke? Were you like mixing oil? Or
Yep, a two-stroke.
That sucks.
And I would always have a bucket in the helmet compartment, you know, so that probably weighed it down. And then when I was doing rollers, it was like a bucket between the feet.
Yeah.
Also to have the two different.
Yeah. Outline fill. Mm-hmm. That's all you need.
Yeah.
That's so fire. I can't imagine you.
I have a few photos. I didn't have an iPhone, but they were on a tablet somewhere. A few photos of like the whole jousting scooter setup. It was a.
Did you actually have like a little like a way to hold your pole?
No, it was. I just bungeed it to the neck, and then one to like the back rack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so it kind of locked me in on the right side.
Yeah, you know? Yeah, you're fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, if I fell with that shit, that would have been crazy. Bucket paint just flying everywhere.
Everywhere.
That would have been a sight.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just thinking in my head maybe you've like created something, or you know how sometimes you see surfers and they got the little kind of like
little
brackets,
surfboard rack.
Yeah.
I seen, and people had scooters with the surfboard rack.
Oh yeah,
totally. In Santa Cruz, especially.
Santa Cruz is definitely, dude. I mean, I'll tell you, my fat ass is not surfing anytime soon. But from what I hear, Santa Cruz surfer locals are fucking gnarly.
Yeah, I
locals only. Get the fuck out of here.
I moved down there and I like went to the beach a handful of times, and I was like, I just like the woods. And so I think after a while it got pretty monotonous because I had like been on every little back road that I could find, and wasn't really into kicking it at the beach. So
so then you're like,
it's a small town too, man. It's not much going on.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, you can only hit so many different spots, right?
Yeah.
Kind of run out after a while.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. Fucking shit. Well, I mean, my basis of questions are done and my user submitted questions are done. Do you have anything that you want to add, or?
I don't know. I appreciate you having me on. It's been a great convo.
Word. I completely agree.
Yeah, we touched the good topics.
Anything you can think of that you're just like, oh, there's something I wanted to touch base on and this and that?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
I don't know.
Word. Yeah, I mean, I think, that's it for me, at least. I don't have anything else to add to that. unless you know. Oh, what would be your last meal?
That's a tough one. I'm a foodie.
Yeah,
For sure, yeah. Traveling is a great, way to try all those foods too.
Oh,
so
yeah, for sure.
I could not even tell you. I would say it would probably be some Vietnamese food dish.
Yeah. Any particular that you like?
Last meal might just be just like a nice, like super well made, fucking piece of meat over rice.
Yeah.
I guess.
Simple.
Yeah, something simple. I mean, I'm sure there's much better answers that I could think of with some time, but that sounds
Yeah, I'm
so
putting
good.
you on the spot
Maybe I'm
right
just
now.
hungry right now,
I'm
too.
starving. I'm definitely gonna fuck some food up in a second.
Yeah.
I
That sounds so good. A little, little vinegary sauce on it.
now that you said that, I'm gonna go out because I I have Taco Bell in the fridge. Well, okay,
It lasts. It keeps.
Not only that, but check this out. So the Sharks, right? San Jose Sharks. They have this thing that four in the net, 4 tacos you get. It's like a deal that they have with Taco Bell, right? So anytime they get 4 goals, they put out a coupon where you get 4 free tacos.
Whoa.
So my boy has season tickets, and every single time he sends me that code, and I put it on my, well, I don't put it on Bay Area Graffiti, but I put it on my personal Instagram, and I just share it to all my homies, and we just, and it's always valid. It is valid the day of the game, but it's really the next day.
Everyone
and it goes for 2 days,
yeah,
right?
sick.
So it's like, for example, just recently, the last game of the season, it was the 14th, and then the coupon expired on the 15th. So what I'll do, just because I'm a cheap ass, we're single income obviously right now, so to save some money, I'll go get soft tacos with beans, and I'll go hit the 3 Taco Bells in my house, and so that's like, what is that? That's fucking 12 tacos, and my wife will do the
They
same.
don't check it.
No, they don't
Yeah,
check
yeah.
it. They don't tell you to put it on the
That's
app.
a good little.
Technically, the rule is that you have to like buy something in order to get it, right? That's like what they want you to do. And even once in a while, you'll get a stickler person. I'll just get a side of sour cream.
Right.
It's like 50 cents. But I'll go get 12 tacos. She'll get 12 tacos. We'll get soft tacos because then, if they're hard, they get gross after a while. But next morning, fry up an egg, get breakfast tacos, like that shit stank. So I've been eating Taco Bell for the last like 3-4 days.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a good way to save money. Maybe I should start posting it on Bay Area Graffiti because one time I wanted to.
People, you gotta
I gotta
save it a little
gatekeep
bit.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
gatekeep it
right,
a little
yeah,
bit.
right. But I mean, everyone in the stadium sees it. Obviously, it's technically.
I've never
protected.
heard about this, so.
Oh well, shit.
Not everyone
I'll
knows.
share it to you.
Yeah.
You know, but well, it's only it's only the day after the game.
Right.
But but it's become a thing now in my personal Instagram with my personal friends that they're like, oh shit, it's like it's fucking on, bro. Free tacos. I just all my DMs. Let's go.
That's what's up.
And one time I was like, okay, let's see what's the most we can get off of one code, right? And we counted it out of all our homies. We got, and hitting multiple spots, we got 104 tacos for free.
It's a good amount. Yeah.
I was pretty pumped off of that.
It's probably nothing to them either.
No,
It's
no.
like,
I mean, it's literally just fucking a little bit of shredded cabbage, cheese, beans. Well, unless you get meat. It's like it's you can't get like nothing, whatever. It's just like the most plainest taco. Mm-hmm. So I mean, we're talking my fucking cents. Yeah, I mean, all 104 of those tacos probably cost them $5.
yeah, you got me rethinking the last meal too. It might be a
now that you-
torta or something like
Oh,
that
there you
too.
go. Yeah, torta, you can't go wrong.
Little
No, because now
carnitas.
you're talking about Vietnamese food. I'm probably gonna
Yeah.
go get fucking some grilled chicken over rice or some
Right.
vermicelli.
Fire.
Yeah. Have you ever been to
Probably not. I don't know nothing out here.
Oh, dude. Well, there's one in Walnut Creek, but I don't know. You got to. It's like in a random cut, but and I'm completely destroying this. But the way it looks on the sign, it says Kevin's Noodle House,
Okay.
but it's like Pho Huyen Whip. That's what
Okay.
it looks like, and he's got like 6 different locations. At Walnut Creek, there's like 5 in the city. There's 2 in Daly City, and then there's one, I believe, all the way in like Redwood City.
Okay.
Whatever. I'll fight anyone. This is the best pho you've ever had in your life.
Sick.
100%. Like, best pho, and their watermelon shake is
Damn.
fucking dank, bro. If you're, I don't know if you drink. I don't really drink, but once in a while I do with the homies, and I'm always hungover because I don't drink that often. Bro, a pho and a watermelon shake, I'm back. Like, that is the shit.
Oh, that's the hangover cure.
Yeah.
Sick.
But
yeah.
now that we're
No,
talking
soup
about
is
it,
great for that, for sure.
yeah, I'm probably going to go there tonight for dinner. That sounds fire.
Sounds fire. Yeah.
Yeah. Torta would be good too, but now we're talking Vietnamese. Last meal. Vietnamese food or Mexican?
I guess so. Yeah, probably one of those.
Sick.
Too.
Sick.
Yeah.
Any spots you recommend? I mean, you can gatekeep if you want. Any spots you recommend in Berkeley?
Yeah. How do I gatekeep these? No. In Berkeley, not necessarily, man. I don't. So I live in Oakland now, and I rarely drive through Berkeley because it's super changed.
Yeah.
The streets have changed, and there's not as many restaurants that I enjoy going to or whatever.
Gotcha.
But I would highly recommend Cam Wong on
Cam
International and 7th in
Okay.
Oakland.
Okay.
If you're looking for Vietnamese food, they have some of the best,
Oh, you
I
just
would
got
say.
me thinking about one too in Oakland as well.
There's also a Cam Wong in Chinatown in downtown Oakland, and it's good, but it's not the same. It's mostly
really?
a banh mi spot, and you get a good coffee there.
Um,
But yeah, Cam Wong, and then I go to El Novio taco truck on High Street and International.
Oh, you're not a traditional Taco Sinaloa on 35th?
Oh, well, that's on 22nd. I mean, I go
22nd. Yeah, well, there's two
Sinaloa
locations, right? They got the one on 35th and the other one on 22nd.
Yeah, and Sinaloa, I think, is a bigger company, and they have a few little trucks.
Really?
So there's one that I go
just the
to.
two.
There's it's not called Sinaloa, but there's an Aguachiles de Tamarindo on International and like 20 something. It's on Derby, but I don't know what the number street is right there. And it says Taco Sinaloa on the back of their truck, hella
no
small.
shit.
So I think they're owned by that. But I like El Novio the best for their burritos and tacos and shit. I think they have really good carnitas, and they grill your burrito with give you a little grilled cebolla as well, you know?
Yeah, I love that shit. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, cool. I'm going to have to check those spots out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That got me thinking too, though, actually, before I forget, I'm just going to say one more recommendation. On Oakland, just remember that there's a little park nearby. I can't remember the address. Anyone can fucking DM me if you're curious about it, but I think the name is Phorbe GIA.
Okay.
It's like
Chicken pho.
PHOG. Exactly. Yeah, it's just chicken pho, and that's the only thing they do. That's
In
it.
Oakland.
In Oakland.
You can't remember where.
No, I know it's like in the Dubs.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's by the Dubs. Maybe a little bit before.
Yeah.
But
Vietnamese zone stops around like 20th. Yeah. So
it's got to be around that area. There's a little park nearby.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can't remember.
I'll keep my eye out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's a yellow awning, and I'm pretty sure it's green letters. It just says Phorbe GIA, and you go there, you get the bone-in chicken, and you ask for the side of the oil, and it's just like oil with garlic, and you get the chicken, you dip it in there. It's just so fucking good, dude. And cash only.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's smack. 100% Phorbe GIA. Don't remember. If anyone's curious, DM me. Okay. Yeah. Last thing I do want to add to the podcast, because I've been watching tons of YouTube. That's like the only thing I watch nowadays. And I always really love at the end of every episode or at the beginning of an episode when they have a quote. Mm-hmm. So I'm starting this off with your episode, a quote to end the episode, I guess. So the quote is from the philosopher from the South known as Project Pat. Remember, kids, chicken heads will look at platinum and think it's white gold. Snaps. I got some snaps. I heard that the other day. I don't know why. I was just in a Project Pat mood, and I was listening to it, and I was like, God damn, chicken heads will look at platinum, think it's white gold. I was like, that's such a fire-ass bar. And then I was watching YouTube, and someone did a quote, and I was like, I should have a quote in the podcast.
Yeah,
and then my wife was like, oh, that's a good idea. But she's like, you got to make it hood. And I was like, I got the quote.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to have to start doing research on ghetto-ass quotes. But yeah, remember that, kids. Chicken heads will look at platinum and think it's white gold.
That's right.
It's a bar. Yeah. All right. So at the end of the episode, I feel like my fucking microphone is like not connecting right, but it sounds like kind of echoey, but whatever.
Sounds good over here.
All right, cool. At the end of the episode, I always do like sources and stuff like that. I don't know if you'd like to share your Instagram or anything like that, or.
Let's see. What is my Instagram? It's a bunch of letters.
Yeah.
And my phone died, but it is,
Here, I can look it up.
it is, now I can remember it. It is,
Doesn't it start with numbers?
Yeah, it's just Boris GIA, but the letters are like one, or they're like flip flopped. So it's BGOIRAIKS Another G at the end, lowercase. Or am I tripping? It's numbers.
Yeah,
it's 1301215G, which also says
It's
Boris.
pager code.
Yes, it's pager code.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, because mine is, so your Myan would be 1774817. That's
Yep.
Yeah, that's the old pager code. I never tripped off of it. I just saw the numbers.
Mine,
and shit.
I don't think is true pager code, but it's more like visual.
Oh yeah, because
Like
true
a
pager
1,
code
2.
would be 8.
Yeah,
It would
1,
be-
2 is R for me because it looks like a little
That's
kick
how
of the
pager.
R.
That's how it is pager
Oh,
code.
okay.
Yeah. 1 2 is an R. Yeah. So no, yours. If it was pager code, it would be 801215.
Right.
That would be yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So yeah. So 1301215G. If you'd like to catch him on Instagram.
That's right. That's
Yep.
all I got.
Yep. For some quality inlines.
Flickr coming soon.
Yeah, for sure. I'll probably, if you want, I can share that on a story later on for
Mhm.
people that are interested. Other than that, let's see here. My shit, Bay Area Graffiti, Bay_area_graffiti. My personal graffiti is What's Your Name, but name is spelled NAYM, which is Mayan backwards. Shit. Oh, Flickr is the same shit. Bay Area Graffiti, Bay_area_graffiti. Yeah, check out all those links. Do I have anything else I gotta say? No, that's it. Yeah, those are the links if you want to find me coming off a search. I talked about it before, but I'll bring it up again. I did start a Myan UGS YouTube, and I posted a video on there that is 10 years down graffiti from 2013 to 2023. So it's the last 10 years of just me documenting graffiti from all around the world. And I put like a 1-hour video. So check that out.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, shit. Other than that, thanks for coming on the show, dude.
Yeah,
Love
thank you so
having you
much.
on. All right.
It's been a pleasure.
I'll catch you guys next on the. Fuck, I can't talk, man. I'm like burnt. It's 6 o'clock.
Long
I
day.
would have been already taking a nap. I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.
What is this rush thing? What is the rush that you get from it?
The ultimate rush, nothing to beat it, no drugs, no nothing.
Are you the kind of person who goes up on those signs on the freeway?
Yeah, more than anyone.